Where's Tyson? Signal blockers. We put them out there for a reason. You bought the radios?
Don't look at me. I thought we wouldn't need them. I thought they wouldn't be easy kills.
Check the road. The two of you, go hit the creek. Fan out. Find them.
Who going with me?
You don't take your silly ass.
You going about myself?
I'm gonna fuck you up.
Son of a bitch. She smashed his fucking head in. Shit. No. This bitch is dead, man. She gonna pay for this. Yo, let's go. Gotta tell Charles. Fuck, man. Come on. Look at this shit. All fucked up, man.
Well,
She killed him. Smashed his head in.
In the creek.
he down there by the water. Ain't no way she made it all the way to him.
Yeah. Too much ground for her to cover. He should be fine. But wait. What if she got to him too?
Nah, she got lucky. She had to catch him off guard. A rock to the head, that's not skill.
Lucky? This bitch took a rock and swung it like she was at a fucking batting cage.
Bust this shit wide open.
So the fuck what? She works out. Oh. Don't tell me the two of you scared of a fucking woman.
Hey, I ain't scared. But this bitch do got a knife right now. And my mama ain't raised no fucking fool.
Good. It makes it more of a challenge. Keep things more interesting.
Interesting what should be.
Shut the fuck up, let's go.
Yes.
Yes. Salutations, everyone. Thank you so much for being in the building with me for another fascinating interview. That movie scene was from the movie Rogue, which I had the honor to be a part of the movie premiere event. Please make sure you check out that video. It was a great turnout, and I just appreciate being a part of just being a part of that, just being in a loop of that. So that was a scene from the movie Rogue, which is on Tubi. Make sure you check it out. It is directed by my new friend, my new girlfriend, Omega Keys. She's my girlfriend in my head. Yes. So make sure you check her out as well as her other work as well, and also that is starring, as you can see, my next guest who had took the time to come into the building to talk with me. So I had to make sure that I had on my bra so I can make sure that I introduce to you and present to others actor Fred Taylor. Y'all, here we go.
I'm coming up, I'm pressing on, I'm getting on, I'm in overcome.
There he is, Mr. Fred Taylor in the building, Mr. Frederick William Taylor in the building. Yes, I said his whole government name. That's right. I put it out there. So yes,
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 yes, yes. Not to be
yeah.
mistaken for Fred Taylor, the football player. I get that a lot all the time.
Oh, really? I wouldn't know because I'm not. I didn't know till you told me. But yes, but thank you for clearing that up for those who are sports fans. So thank you so much, and thank you Fred for being here. I really do appreciate you to coming through. And also, I need to let you know something because there was some people that saw the movie premiere for Rogue. And
Right.
I did the red carpet, and I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me there. And it was so just so wonderful to be a part of that. And so I have someone that was is near and dear to me, who's very important to me, that has a crush on you. Yes, and so I wanted to call it out. Yes. So
Oh
because when
wow.
she saw the video, that's my mom, by the way. That's my mom. She has a little crush on you. She saw that video with you in it, and she was like, "Oh, that guy in the dress, he fine." Right? She said
Wow,
just
wow.
like that. She said just like that.
Wow, wow. Tell her I said thank you very much. Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, so I had to make sure I put that out there, but he is very handsome, that's not, that's obvious. And hi everyone who's in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for the sub. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being in the building. Thank you so oh really? Is that right? So let me go kind of take you out real quick since you want to talk about somebody's, yeah, let me bring you real quick. Yeah. See, already starting already for these trolls starts already. These
Hey,
trolls starting already.
hey, if you're not being hated on, you're not doing something right. So
Yeah, I mean, but that's all right. Shout out to the trolls too. Shout out to them too. All right, but so Fred, before we get into the your backstory, I want to know can you give in your own words your synopsis, your premise on of the movie Rogue?
oh man, Rogue comes from a time where women are being looked at as very very masculine, doing things that a lot of men can do, and what you can do I can do better type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And um she was pretty much saying in the midst of all of that, and all she wanted to do was serve her country, and actually spend time with somebody that appreciates her and appreciates what she do. And with coming away from you know going into civilian life, she's had to make some changes, and she wanted to, saying do things for the better. It just so happens that across a man who sees those type of women as a threat,
Yes.
and want to be humble, to humble those type of women to a certain to at a point that you know men are always going to be better.
Mm.
And my character and the other characters took uh took it in a whole nother way, and we learned the hard way. We went to sleep.
Right, permanently. Yeah, so yeah, yeah, but thank you for so much for sharing that, Fred. I appreciate that. And so I want to know, as far as your character, um, can you tell us how did that resonate with you as far as what's the difference between your character's views on this whole soft girl era, masculine woman, that type of thing, and your own perspective, and and you don't have to give me the politically correct answer. Give me your honest view.
Yeah, I'll say that my character definitely saw her as a threat.
Hmm.
So definitely saw her as somebody that's like, you're not better than me. And with us, with me and the crew, we wanted to definitely humble those type of women, and let them know that there's a place for you. Saying you should stay there. Um, in in my natural life, in my actual life, I really, really believe, and I actually come from a family of strong women. My mother, my sister is she was a drill sergeant, so
Wow.
she was in a male dominant field that took on a lot of responsibility. She had a lot of people that she had to train to survive, and it takes it takes a lot of, a lot of grit, and
Yes.
she's always had it ever since, what I'm saying, I was a kid. So she's 12 years older than me, and she, she
Okay.
was
Yeah.
that life force. She was very forceful when it came to it, and she definitely had a knack for it, and she's well respected in the Air Force community.
Oh, nice. Oh, shout out to your sister. And thank you for your services, sis. Thank you for your services.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So now, Fred, and I also want your honest answer on this because when I mentioned about soft girl era, right? And you have a lot of women that are trying to achieve that in the sense of how um, there was a period where there was a period where the feminist movement was coming on strong, and like how I'm women here we roar, and to the point where they and then there's nothing wrong with exuding femininity. There's nothing wrong with having a voice, but it seemed like throughout time, and this is just me talking, not you, just me. Is my
Mhm.
words.
Right,
I'm kind of, I'm giving you a lead up to what I want you to give me your perspective on.
right,
I'm
right.
just giving you all right. So um, I get the objective of it, but I feel like in time it led to a lot of women exuding independence and doing it for themselves at the expense of men, at the expense of men, and it got to the point where the men became obsolete. The man's role became obsolete. The man's um the man's position in the nuclear family became obsolete. It became a point where a lot more men are emasculated. They're not
Yeah.
as respected, and so as a black woman, I know some people might view me as a pick me for saying that, but I'm not saying that to bash women because I do believe that yes, we as women do need to have a voice. We do need to have the ability to do our own thing, to have our careers and being able to balance it all
Hmm.
without the expense of the man's role, the and a lot of people tend to a lot of women I should say tend to misconstrue the concept of submission because a lot of men, you know, a lot of men are not able to understand it themselves to the point where they find it as a means to control or a means to have women be used as doormats or women to make them feel like they're less than because as you
Hmm.
said before about women being a threat because they have a certain amount of strength and they're able to defend themselves. And so you have a lot of men who are threatened by women instead of competing with the women. They don't have the ability to uplift and have the ability to be proud of who they are.
Right,
And vice versa. You have a lot of women who are so caught up in the idea of being independent. They're so caught up with the idea of not allowing a man to they miss out on the true blessing of it all. They miss out of the true blessing of being with a man who truly have good intentions. So, with that being said, Fred, I want to know your perspective on how the whole feministic ideals evolved in time. How did that evolve? What does that look like to you? And how
um um it looks, like I said, with the background of, saying, my family. I always looked at women. I also looked at the women that was in my life very, very strong, and I actually fed off of that. Like I said, like I can go back to my sister, like with her, with the struggles that she gone through, especially when it came to the military and things like that. You know, she was always like stuck in, like, oh, you can't do this because you're a woman. You can't even
Mhm.
her husband
Mhm.
was, her husband was even like, I don't see you doing that, or you shouldn't.
Mm.
And she used that as fuel, as like, yes, I can. So I commend any woman that wants to, that has a dream to do anything, because, like, who am I to judge? Because you have no idea, you know who you're who you're talking down to,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that, like, even as kids, that parents saying you can't do this and you can't do that, that's stuck in their mind that they can't, when they actually have a dream to do it. So I feel that, if a woman wants to take on a role that is, you know very, very dominant, stay in your feminine lane, but also have a voice.
Yes.
Like, have your voice, and be heard, or whatever it take, put action into it, put word into it, that's pretty much my thing. I commend a woman to do anything. I commend a man, a woman, kids, or anything that has anything to do with their dreams to go for it. Because I'm 43, and I wanted to be an actor when I was 8 years old. And a friend of
Mm.
mine told me that's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard, because
Mm.
we come from, like, where I grew up. It
Get a
was
real
nothing
job.
but sports. It was nothing but sports or a real job.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was told that was the stupidest thing that I could ever thought of, and like listening to that, I shut that dream down and just focused on football, focused on drawing,
Mm.
focused on other things other than what my heart and my gut really took on. So a woman a woman wanting to do something, I they'll have my full support. I'm a biggest cheerleader when somebody wants to fulfill their dream. Just know what it's going to take, and what you're going to sacrifice for it.
Yes, thank you. Well said, Fred. Thank you so much for this perspective. And I'm so glad that you mentioned about the acting aspect, because if that's a good segue into what I wanted to discuss with you in regards to Hakeem Sharif. I had an interview with Hakeem Sharif this
Mhm.
past Wednesday. Shout out to, make sure you check that interview out, by the way. And
It was a
Fred and I,
great interview.
yeah, thank you so much. I
Great
appreciate that.
interview.
Amazing person. And so I wanted to ask you if it was okay to speak life into him, because we spoke about him breaking down, and had an breaking down
Yeah.
on my platform, which I always leave a safe space for him. And so
Right.
he, I gave him the opportunity to speak to his younger self, and that left him vulnerable, and he got emotional when he was speaking to his former self, and how he was, the way he was reflecting on that time in his life, and he was dealing with so much grief between losing his parents, his siblings, and other family members within a year or two. So
Right. Right.
it got into that, and so Fred was giving his opinion, his perspective on it, as far as how he has an actor's mindset, and how he's able to go far with that. And so
Mhm.
for him to be able to manifest that as a fellow thespian, I just really commend that. And so, Fred, if you don't mind, can we get a little bit more, give the audience a little bit more context by playing a little bit of that video? Would you mind if I do that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. And all righty.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And talk to him, let him know what the journey looks like. Mhm.
Oh, you want me to pour into a guy that I'm about to see?
Yeah, you don't see you don't see the photo?
I see the. Not really.
You don't see it?
Oh,
You
it's
don't see,
me.
you don't see the little boy right there, that
Mm.
handsome, cute little boy?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
snap! Where you get that from? That's crazy. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
And talk to him, let him know what the journey looks like. Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, take your time.
Oh yeah.
Hmm. I had to
We'll
compose
be here.
myself, Fred. At that moment,
Oh
I
yeah.
had to really compose myself.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Like I saw that and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Hmm.
It's all
I
Hmm.
right.
even thought I was looking at my young self like, ooh, ooh.
Yes. Yes. I know you mentioned that. You did mention that.
Yes.
A nigga gonna make it.
Mm,
A nigga gonna make it. I
mm,
know he
Mhm.
will.
mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Oh yeah.
He been fighting so hard, man, to be accepted.
mm.
Oh yeah.
Come on, come on.
Oh.
He gonna make it.
Mm.
Mhm.
He gonna make it. As
Tell him
long
how
as I
he's
don't give
tell him
up.
how he's gonna make it. How's he gonna make it?
By keeping the promise that you had to your mother. You promised your father and you promised your brother that saying you're not gonna stop until the last name is being said. Yeah.
Yeah, let me take this so I don't want to overwhelm you anymore. But I just, I always wanted to give some people the opportunity to kind of look within, kind of look within that inner child that just kind of focus on what you know where that cute little child was and what he was able to triumph. Fred, I don't know. Do you have another window open? I'm hearing something. I was hearing some feedback. I don't know if you heard it or not.
No, I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to play that clip so that way that gives the audience some context what we're referring to. And so the reason why I played that for you, Fred, is because again, we was talking about it and you manifested something that there's gonna sooner than he thinks that he is going to be putting in that 2 week notice onto his regular
Oh yeah.
job. You know,
Oh,
so what I want you to do, just kind of looking again at that clip of Hakeem, can you speak some life into him as a fellow actor as well as a black man as well in that
oh yeah.
moment? Can you speak some life into him, Fred,
Oh
please?
yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to this, my man, like I watched a ton of your stuff. You know what I mean? And definitely, coming from Cleveland, driving back and forth to Detroit,
Yes,
it definitely solidifies your drive and your gift to want to succeed in this, and you will, because hard work. You work hard. You know, you work hard now. The gift of your labor is going to be very, very easy. And that day that you walk into Costco and be like, hey boss, can I talk to you for a sec? Is gonna be the most, saying, invigorating moment in your life. And it's it's coming. It's coming. I believe it. And your story, my story, everybody else's story is going to be a testimony to that. The testimony, is not, saying, walking into Costco. It's before that, and you put in the work, man. You put in the work, and you're inspiring a lot of people. You're inspiring me, to step up my game. Your arsenal of work, saying, goes far beyond, and it's only a matter of time that it's going to get looked at and being like, what, I'm gonna have to hit that guy up because he's good. He's good. And he's in the city of where that is being made.
yes,
You back and forth in Detroit, and
yes,
from what I heard, what how it goes there in Detroit, it's a factory, not a General Motors factory, but it's a Tubi factory there, and like they're
yes,
birthing a lot of people, and I love that. I love that.
yes. Boom. Yes. Shout out to Hakeem Sharif.
Yes,
Shout out to
yes,
him.
it's
Yes.
definitely.
And thank you so much, Fred. And I really hope that he hears that message to him. So I just appreciate you doing that because I really wanted to give you that opportunity to because we need that support, that community,
Oh yeah,
especially among creatives. We definitely need to
yeah.
hear the voice
Yeah,
of
the community needs it, and just having those people in by your side, having those type of people by your side is it helps you along the way.
it does. It
and
really does.
and it and even when he gets to that next level, he's going to offer his hand out for the next person.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's how it should be. And I see that
Absolutely.
for him. I see that for him. He's going to speak a lot of lives into a lot of people, just based off of that, and without even knowing, he did that already, being on this platform.
Yes, he did. He did. And I thank you so much, Fred. And shout out to Miss Stevie. He said, hey Faith, hey girl, happy Saturday. And hey, hi Fred.
Hey, hey.
Yeah, that's Miss Stevie. She's someone I think you should collaborate with as well. She's
Okay.
been doing this for this is her 20th year that she's celebrating, and she
Okay.
has had thousands of interviews so far. And she's actually one of my inspirations for me actually doing this right now.
Mhm.
So
Right.
yes, please make sure that Miss Stevie, make sure you reach out to Fred. Please make sure you reach out to Fred. Miss Stevie, I'm gonna give you his and actually his info is gonna be in his description box, his IG. Please make sure you reach out to Fred.
Okay.
You'll reach back. He's nice. He's so nice like that. He's so nice.
I do my best. I do my best.
Yeah, he's so nice. I think y'all. No, I think y'all gonna mesh well. I see that y'all gonna mesh well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So make that happen, Stevie. All right. So yeah. So with all that being said, I really like to get into the backstory. You know how I do like to get into the backstory of individual, and I enjoy. He sees. I sure will be on the lookout for it. I don't know if you see the comments or not, Fred.
Yeah, I see him.
You see him? Okay. Good. Good.
Yep.
All right. All right.
Absolutely.
So, yes, I love to hear the backstories. I love to hear about one's childhood, what molded you, Fred, like you
Mm.
individually. What molded you? Because you already mentioned it about being raised by strong women. So I just want to get more into your childhood. Did you have siblings? Did you have a two-parent household, one-parent household? Did you have a bunch of cousins coming over? All the neighbors that come in and after school. Did you have to have bunk beds? You have the palace on the floor? Did you have, the Saturday morning cartoons? Did you have to walk, play until the street lights came on? Did you,
Ooh.
have the bologna sandwiches with the cut up in the edges, or did you have the grilled cheese sandwiches that with the cheese that came in a box, the government cheese,
Oh
we,
yeah. Yeah.
those were distributed. Did you have the no frills with the white boxes, that the government gave us in this rich country? Okay.
Oh,
So, give me, what kind of music did you listen to? Who inspired you growing up? I want to hear your growings up. Let me get your
oh
growings up.
man.
Where you born and raised? I know I gave you a
Ooh.
lot there, but I like to give
Man.
that those references.
Man, I tell you what, it definitely started in Dayton, Ohio, where I was born and raised.
Ohio. Oh, okay.
Yes,
Oh yeah, and okay. So Hakeem is from Cleveland. Oh, so no wonder
right.
why you like him so much. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. But I was born and raised in Dayton, Ohio. My mom, um single. It was a single parent household, with me and my sister. My sister is 12 years older than me. My mom, of course, she's 33 years older than me, and
Mm,
she worked a lot. And um, backstory, I'll go with my mom first. Like my backstory with my mom is that she was definitely, I won't say typed as the outcast, but she was definitely different. Like she's the lightest one in the family. And she was
mhm.
always messed with. But she had a dream to actually go into the Air Force and make something
Oh,
of
did she?
herself.
Hmm.
Yeah, she and at that age, she that's what she wanted to do. And when she had my sister, it halted her dreams, but she still had the opportunity to go. And the day that she was getting ready to leave, her drill sergeant said, "Hey, your mom wants you to go get your daughter," and that halted her dream. It
Mm.
halted her dream, and she went straight into a to tunnel mode of survival, into a moment of, what, I'm gonna live for my child, I'm gonna live for my kid, and that took a toll on my sister because it was a lot of, I mean, my mom was 19, so it was a child raising a child. So,
Yes. Yes.
her learning the best way that she could because of, learning from my grandma. But when I came around, sister's 12 years older than me, my mom, and it was definitely humble beginnings, but I did I was so
Okay.
sheltered and covered that I had no idea, you know.
Right. Right.
Um, but you know, definitely the government cheese joint. I've definitely put water in my frosted flakes. You know,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Come on. Yes. Yes. Come. Yes. Come on.
definitely,
Come on with it.
definitely. My mom worked. She was a nurse at the VA, and she
Really? Oh,
she
that's okay.
worked. Yeah, she worked out long hours, very long hours. She worked 3:30 to midnight, at least about
Mm.
17 years of my life.
Ooh.
You know,
Ooh. Ooh.
so I rarely saw my mom, and when I did see my mom on the weekends, she was knocked out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So who did you
and
so who did you spend most time with?
I spent a lot of my time with my sister.
With your sister.
She
Okay.
and my sister definitely was a tomboy. She definitely, not a girl's girl. She was either skating or she was playing basketball. She was running track. She was playing volleyball. She was all into that, and she didn't let she didn't let having a little brother stop her. She took me everywhere she went. You know, even when it
Oh
came to
wow,
well, even
that's
when it came
crazy,
to high
Fred.
school. Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Real,
when it
real
came
quick, I want
to
to. I'm sorry, let me
oh
cut you
yeah,
off. I'm let you continue, but I want to assert this. You sound like my mom. My mom is like 8 years older than my uncle, and she was like
mhm,
mom to him.
yeah,
It's like because back then, you could take like you could be a child, take care of a
mhm,
child. Like my mom, 8 years old, used to take my uncle in
yeah,
the stroller to the park
yeah,
and feed him and just look after him. And even until
yeah.
now, even to this day, they both senior citizens, and she both she still looks up for my uncle. Like she doesn't play about my uncle, and I don't either.
Mm,
You know.
right, right.
So yeah, I just want to insert that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, she literally she literally my mom didn't believe in babysitters. My mom didn't believe in none of that. She said, "Hey, watch out for your
Yes.
brother."
Yes.
And that was no it was no question that that's something that say my sister took on because I mean I'll put it to you like this: like my sister got put on punishment. I don't know how many times because she said, "Mom, can you give me a brother? Can you give me a baby brother?" And when
Oh,
I when I
she was
came
put a punishment for that.
yeah, she got put on
Why?
punishment because it's that talk. Like stop bugging me with that talk. Get out of my face. I'm taking the game away. I'm taking this away. So it
Okay.
was yeah. My mom was very very strict. My mom very very
Yeah.
strict.
That's a bit
Especially
much.
oh
You
yeah, I
know.
I was put on punishment for drinking the last bit of the Pepsi.
Oh, see
So
now, see now
yeah,
you
so
won't for that, friend. You
so
won't. No,
yeah,
you won't
so
for
yeah.
that. I knew you had that coming. Now you see that's a whole other thing. Now you talk about Pepsi now. Now
Oh yeah, oh
yeah,
yeah. Let me yeah yeah. Let
the
me drink the
last bit
last
of
bit.
Pepsi, the last
Yeah,
drop,
that
the
little
little swallow.
swallow,
Oh,
that little
yeah,
swallow.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, oh yeah.
yeah.
She was like, go on in your room. But yeah, my sister took me everywhere. I remember she had this yellow 10-speed bike, and she rode it everywhere, and she had me right in the middle everywhere
Right.
she went.
Mhm.
Basketball practice, everything. There's so many times where I've been to her high school at the time, and like all her friends would be like, "Oh, this is my little boyfriend," and I'm over here like, like yes, yes, take me,
Oh,
So, yeah, I had no idea that we were in rough times just because of everything that my sister was involved in.
right, right.
So yeah, it was definitely humble beginnings,
Yes.
definitely.
So let me ask you. Stevie said that she DM'd you. So
Okay.
all right. Thank you, Miss Stevie. Yeah. So talk more about. I want to hear more about the type of cartoons you used to watch. What were
Mm,
Did you know that you had a creative thing at that time? Oh, let me rephrase that. Did you know at that time during your childhood that you were born with this gift? Because like I said before, creators are born with it. It's not acquired. Is in them. So
mhm.
did you know at that time during your childhood, or did you know
Oh man,
later than that?
I knew at 8 years old.
8 years old. Okay, so
between
let's talk about
between
that. Let's talk about it.
between between 6 and 8 between
Okay,
six
so
and
let's
eight
talk
years
about
old.
that.
um
And what
I
was inspirations?
it was it was definitely lonely at times, because
Mm,
around that time my sister turned 18. She went to the military and she went basic training and left me fend for myself. So from 3:30 to midnight, I was by myself,
mhm,
plenty of times. And I couldn't go outside. I couldn't go outside until the weekend. And when the weekend came, all of my friends, is in separate households, so they're going to a different house to go see their pops, And during the week, I never got a chance to see them because I was always in house, and the only thing that I had was TV and Hot Wheels,
Hot Wheels, yeah.
and I will only say that I don't even remember watching cartoons. I think I went from Thundercats straight into like movies. Like it
Okay,
just
okay.
just
Oh,
straight into
Thundercats.
movies. And
Okay, you mad to my own heart. You said Thundercats. I'm
oh
sold right there.
I thought Thundercats was
It was
everything.
it
But
is. It
oh
was.
yeah.
It was. Mhm,
But
mhm.
then but then I saw a movie. I think no, actually, I'll go back a little further because like my sister, she took me, like I told you, she took me everywhere.
Everywhere.
She took me to go see Eddie Murphy Raw.
She took
Diapers.
herself.
She had diapers, Similac, everything, and I think it was delirious. It was delirious, and then I was I won't say old enough to listen to Eddie Murphy Raw,
Yeah,
but
you're not supposed to listen.
I,
You're not supposed to listen to
but
that.
I was definitely too young to listen to Eddie Murphy Raw.
Yes.
But all I know is
Yes.
that when I saw Eddie Murphy Raw, I thought it was the most hilarious stuff I've ever heard, and that was when I actually felt like I could do something like that,
Yeah,
you
okay.
know,
Yeah.
and then going to like different movies. Oh man, like I when anytime that Eddie Murphy was on, I wanted to see what Eddie Murphy was doing. You know,
Mm,
it was remarkable. You know, from Beverly Hills Cop to 48 Hours. I watched
mm.
every single movie, and then I started to. I'll probably say like around 8 is when I really started to take in and um, listen and take in what they say and how they say it, and that's where I started to develop memorization.
Got you.
And I remember for Christmas I asked for this bow and arrow. It was a Nerf bow and arrow, and I got it for Christmas. And I watched this movie called Robin Hood with Kevin Costner, and that has so much action and so much life into it that like every every simulated like fight, I was doing the same thing they were doing in my living room. I would jump on couches and like just fling my bow and arrow, say what they saying, mimic the words and
Yes.
everything.
Yes. Yes.
And it went from that to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to White Man Can't Jump, and that
Yes.
right there, White Man Can't Jump. I was like, oh my gosh, Wesley
Oh,
Snipes is Wesley Snipes was so smooth and so dope. I was just like, man, I want to be like that. That's how
okay.
smooth I want to be. I was like, man, you got to be kidding me. And then I came across Pretty Woman.
Okay.
I've never like that was the first time I ever seen like a sequence of like a romance. And you know how what I've had to been to
Mm-hmm.
watch that.
Mm-hmm.
And to see how Richard Gere, how smooth he was, I was like, that's how I want to be, you know. And I memorized that movie from heart by heart to White Man Can't Jump to like, oh my gosh, I would probably say
Yeah.
that's where it was at, and I was just like, and I would mimic stuff like when of course like when my family when I was by myself, but when my family came home, like my I think like my attention started to just go like really really haywire, because then I would start uh versing what I heard in the movie, and they'd be like, what are you talking about, what is this, what are you talking about?
I start quoting
and,
quoting the scripts.
and,
Quoting.
and then they would watch a movie the next day and was like, that's what you was talking about. I was like, how did you know that? And I was just like, I'm here all day.
You
I'm
left,
here by
like I said, you
myself.
left me here with all this. You left me
You
here.
know, like the best thing that my mom did was like order these VHS tapes, of all the movies that I wanted. She was like, pick out which movies that you want, and I'll get them. And that was my babysitter. I would
Yes.
literally just sit and just watch TV all day. And like my mom could be like, "You're on punishment. You can't go outside." I'm like, okay, you know. But like, one minute she'll be like, "You can't watch TV," and I'll just be like, "For real?"
Yeah, that was it. That
You
hit
know.
hard. That
And I tell you, it TV gave me life, because everything that I saw, I actually embedded, and then like I like transferred it and just told everybody else the way that they did it. I mimicked. I can't believe like half the people that I mimicked. It was Bernie Mac. It was Chris Tucker. It was all these people.
mm,
And like
wow.
when my sister would come home, she'd be like, "Hey, do Chris Tucker or do Bernie Mac," and I was just like, and I would just sit
Yeah,
there and
do
just
it.
do
Do
it.
it, Fred.
I can't do it now.
You can't do it now. Oh,
I
see,
can't
that
do
would
it
have
now, but
been. See, that would have been the icing on the cake right there.
oh yeah, like and I would probably say um that's going further. That's going further as I got older, towards
Right.
junior high school. So
Okay,
I want
elementary
to
too.
stay in that
Yeah.
realm. I want to
Yes.
stay in that realm, but yeah, I would do all of that, and then I would actually get in trouble in school because I would do the same thing when I got to school. You know,
Mm.
and I had a teacher named Miss Douglas. She knew that my attention span was like just haywire,
Mhm. Mhm.
and there were some days where she just like the last 5 or 10 minutes of school, she would give me the last 5 minutes, 5, 10 minutes of school to just be goofy, just act out and be funny. And like
Oh wow.
I would make everybody laugh, and I loved it. I loved it. But when I got home, I was definitely you know I won't say channel. I was definitely quiet, because
Mm.
like my sister be like, "Hey, calm down, hush up, shut up, don't say this and don't say that." So I got I started to get shy and started to get quiet, because
Not to
my
annoy anybody. Oh,
my 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 animation and everything was very, very wild back then. So
oh wow. And so
she
it started to really
she
get to folks.
yeah, she put the clamps on me and was like, "Hey, calm down. All right,
Like
you did
tone
your
it
thing. I
down,
leave."
bringing it down.
You know, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, at least you was able to have an outlet. I'm glad you mentioned about your teacher because I'm going to get into the elementary, junior high school phase of it all because I like to discuss that as well. Such a
Hmm.
pivotal part of our lives that we don't discuss enough because that's where we develop our social skills. That's when we
Right.
are, figuring ourselves out. We're, exploring more of our anatomy as well as other people's anatomies. Like opposite sex.
Hmm.
How that goes.
Right.
Hopping in the staircase. You're try, I don't know whether you're a shy kid, a popular kid, and
Oh
how
yeah.
where kind of self discovery at that time, and then
Hmm.
you got into the Miss Douglas and how she was gave you the outlet, she gave you the opportunity to
Hmm.
showcase, and a lot of teachers they don't have the time or they're just not really able to really
Hmm.
kind of have the ability to do that. So the fact that she gave you the time to shine in that way, that is so important. So
Yeah.
I want you to dive more into that phase, elementary and junior high school.
Yeah. I was definitely. I think I really believe I had ADD before ADD was
Mhm,
actually out
mhm.
there, because my attention span was like this, and the only thing that kept my attention was movies, was TV, and I that's just basically just what I did, and I still do it to this day. Like my day consists of is running in the morning, workout after I eat, get dressed, go to work. If I'm doing an audition, I'll do an audition. If not, on my day off, I have my favorite food and I'm watching TV all day. That's
So
pretty much
TV is still your thing.
TV is still my thing. Even especially now, I'm on Tubi most of the time, because the people that I'm
Yes.
working with, they are constantly like having projects. So I definitely want to support them, and I'll watch, and then I'll hit them up like, "Yo, that was dope what you did." I definitely do. I definitely do that to this day.
Well,
So,
great, wonderful. So, but
so yeah.
going back to the going, back into the junior high school and elementary, junior high school, and you mentioned that you still keep TV, is still a part of your staple.
Right.
But let me get you more into your self discovery because like I said, we don't talk about self discovery
Mhm.
back then. If you can remember that far back then, what was your periods of self discovery? Were you a shy kid, popular kid? Did you hump in the staircase? I want to know that too. Did you hump in the staircase? Yeah, I gotta know. I'm curious. I
That
gotta know.
everybody from my junior high school and high school would be like, "Oh man," because everybody found out that I was messing around in the staircase. Word got
See,
out, and everybody called me a freak back then, and I was just like, "What the
oh,
heck does that
Freaky
mean?"
Friday. See,
So,
look, see, I knew
but
it. See, Freaky
but
Friday.
but
See,
yeah, uh, but I'll say junior high school is where I definitely figured myself out a little bit, as far as my want to act was definitely there, because around that time is when Friday came out,
Okay.
and everybody
Yes.
knows Friday. And like I said, I memorized that movie from start from the opening
What's
credits
your
to
favorite? What's
the
your favorite line for Friday?
oh man, um, Pops. Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, and he just chomping those grapes.
Yeah.
Goddamn refrigerator, eating up all the food. I want some of them chitlins. I want pig feet. And I
Mhm.
that always and then but what the most thing was it was just Chris Tucker. The
Oh,
whole
yes. Hmm.
every time that he was on, I was just like,
Yep.
and
Yes.
I mimicked him so much that my voice got so high that like it was like I
He was
never hit
mimicable.
puberty.
Yeah.
Right. It was like I never hit puberty because like I kept mimicking him so much because I would go to school and I remember the first time I told people like I memorized the whole movie. They was like, "Stop lying, let me hear it." And from the
Wow.
opening credits to him waking up, it even like the little kid that was on the bike. I knew
What?
that part.
You
I
did,
literally knew.
Fred?
Yes, and everybody got so amazed of the simple fact that I memorized everybody's parts including Chris
Wow.
Tucker, Ice Cubes. I knew everything from start to finish, and and it became a thing. It became a thing in every classroom, especially when we had downtime. They'd be like, "Fred, do Friday," and I did it so much that my nickname was Smokey.
Wow. That
They
is insane.
my nickname was Smokey, and I remember I was in music class. I was in music class, and I was messing around doing the whole thing, and I had a teacher named Mr. Shide, a music teacher by the name of Mr. Shide, and he like, I got something for you. And he gave me a script. And I was like, what's this? He was like, oh yeah, this is a script and for an audition. I really want you to take a look at this and sing and give it to your mom. And as soon as he gave it to me, I saw all I saw was I'm gonna be on Sister Sister one day. That's all I thought.
Sister,
I was like, I'm gonna
sister.
be on Sister.
Wow.
It was
Okay.
because like that was one of the shows that I was watching all the time. If it wasn't a movie, it was that show.
Oh,
And
okay.
and
I'm
Mark
listening.
and Marcus Houston was go home, Roger, and
Watch.
I was just like,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
that is So I went. I remember going home and I was like, Mom, I got a audition. This guy, one of my teachers gave me this, and it, can you think you can take me? And I knew it was a stretch for her to take me because for one, we didn't have a car, and for one, she was always working, so she really was like, I ain't got time for that. Get out my face, and it ate me up to know that I couldn't do it, but
Mm.
I learned the first page anyway. I learned the first page, and I remember because my teacher kept asking me, he's like, "Are you going to go? Are you going to go? You going to do it? You going to do it?" And I never like gave him a yes or a no. But I was in class one day, and it was quiet, and I just just did the line, and his mouth just literally dropped. He was like,
Mm.
"Are you going to go?" And I was like, "I can't.
But what
My
was
mom
that?
don't have a
What was
car."
it? You said it was a script that you had. Do you remember it?
I don't remember the script, but it I don't remember the script, but I do know that it was very, very lengthy. And I automatically was like, I'm not going to be able to do this whole thing. But that first page, I memorized that first page and I did it and his mouth dropped. And
Mm.
that's where I knew I was like, I want to be an actor.
Mm.
But I wanted to be an actor at 8. But it really like solidified right there.
Yes. Yes.
And but in the back of and I always have put acting in the back of my mind because I love football. You know,
Okay.
any chance that I got to go outside and play, it was always throwing a football, playing football, anything that dealt with a football. And and I just remember just focusing and playing football. I was actually I'll probably say at the age of 12, I could throw like 40 yards already.
Mm-hmm.
So it was it that's all I had in my head. Like forget acting. but God has something for me. He was like, you gonna forget acting. I got something for you. You'll figure it out. So
Right. I'm loving this.
so yeah.
I love
So yeah.
this.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
God.
Oh,
Yeah.
we gonna dive in.
Yes. Yes,
You gonna be like,
absolutely. Yeah.
right,
Yeah. I can't wait. But wait, hold on. Before we do that, before we get to the next thing, fool. You seen Craig?
oh, he in the house. See, you almost got me. You almost,
I couldn't help it. I couldn't resist.
you almost got me. I'm
Like,
like,
who should call it fool?
right. Oh, oh yeah. Some people want to buy sugar or even ketchup. Hell no.
Like, when you when Smokey drags Deborah out the house, like what you doing here in my house?
Oh, it's that part.
We met Janet
Oh
Jackson.
wait. Oh yeah.
Like why you in the house?
Oh,
My mom is in Vegas with her boyfriend.
Felicia fucking Debo too. Where your mama at?
She's in Vegas with her boyfriend.
Oh, so y'all just parlaying over here. Parlay. Mm.
And yeah, but talk about the when you met Janet Jackson. I want to hear that. I want to hear that part.
Oh, okay. Let me get it in my. You're like, oh, that's Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson. We gonna hook up or what? We could kick it, but I told my mom I gotta pick her up. Oh, I'll take you go
Oh,
get
you
her.
got to
Now
take it over
she don't
there.
like a lot of people when I go with her. She don't like a lot of people.
Oh God, okay, I'm sorry. Thank you
Oh,
so much for indulging me, friend. I couldn't resist.
oh yeah. Man, that movie, man. Oh.
One more time, one more thing.
Okay, yeah, right. What you got?
Wait,
What you got?
one more. Oh wait, when she came up and she when he told Deborah about how she said she liked Janet Jackson, and she was like, "Oh, I know she didn't go there."
Yeah. How you gonna hook me up with that bald headed ass girl? She said she look like Janet Jackson. She could
I
have to
know
call
she
more like
no.
Freddie Jackson. You know she ain't nappy headed. You know she ain't had no damn hair.
Yeah. Thank you for indulging me, friend.
Anytime. Anytime. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so I want to also what high school did you go to?
I went to Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School in
Mm.
Dayton, Ohio. Home of the most athletic people you will ever want to meet. We
Oh,
got a
all
lot
right.
of a lot of basketball players, a lot of football players that everybody grew and known to love. Keith Byers, you got the Nashawn Goddard, you got the Daquan Cooks, and the Norris Cole. Those both are definitely NBA
Mm-hmm.
championship playoff winners. And it being in that high school, it was very very intimidating because it was intimidating, but it was definitely humbling because it made me realize how much I peaked before
Mm.
playing football there because everybody was taller than me. I probably like 5'6", 5'7". Everybody
Wow.
is like
Yeah, yeah.
3. It was a football basketball powerhouse school. And I definitely got overlooked and I took that and just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna focus on my art because I learned how to draw at a young age, and it stemmed from my uncle who
Mm.
also graduated at that high school, and he was a notable painter, and he would go back and forth to New York with his paintings and do um, he would have bookings where he was showcase his stuff, and they would buy it, and they used to buy top dollar, and what he did to give back to the school is that he would do these oil paintings of all the principals who retired.
Oh
So
wow.
every principal that you saw that was there, he painted it,
Oh
and
wow.
he put his name all over it. So it's all over the high school. So I even at a younger age, I really thought that my uncle was famous. I really did, because anytime that he came home, every everybody would come over to my grandma's house and just, you know, want they all wanted a piece of him. They always wanted to take him out to eat. They always wanted to take him to the mall, and he was my fave.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
really I definitely wanted to be like him. I wanted to be like, you know what, I'm gonna come home and just be celebrated every time I come home, and
Oh
I love that for him. And
yes.
until this day, he's, even now, he's more proud than me, for taking on not only, painting and art, but even stepping it up into to acting.
Yeah.
So,
Wonderful. Yeah.
but
So
but yeah, but high school, it was I definitely uh shrunk myself of my
mm,
greatness, because it was being I felt like I was being overshadowed with sports, and I
mm,
felt, but I stayed in my art. And I remember at times where, um there was times where I could just, be myself, we did it through, because we didn't have a theater program or a drama club or anything like that. But we did have this one class where, anytime that we went, we could just
free
improv, do stuff,
mhm,
and
mhm, mhm.
I always thought of myself as, a comic relief, but like, or a class clown, but like, there's so many people in my high school that took class clown to a whole level, like just jawing on people, and yo mama jokes, like them
Yes,
yo
yes,
mama jokes was terrifying. But
yes.
I would probably say, high school was the time where I really really shrunk myself,
Mm.
and just stayed to myself, and beginning to be shy. And that's where my shyness came from, and that's where I just, just sat in the back, and I just drew. I
Why
just
did you
drew.
feel the need to shrink yourself, Fred? I want to get more into that, as I also want to get into, but what? Why did you feel the
Yeah.
need to shrink yourself and suppress whatever it was, and also like, did you start to develop the interest like in dating? Did you work part time? But we get into
Mhm.
get into that part, but go back to that part when you was talking about shrinking yourself.
I shrunk myself because, I just saw a lot of people, you know, saying what I was saying and doing what I was doing, but they were being heard more than me.
Mm,
So, and that's where, and then along those lines, even growing up, that it took a toll in the household as well, to where, like, me being the youngest in the family, to, oh, you can't do what I'm doing because I'm grown, and this and this and that. And even no matter what, the outcome was, I still didn't get my point across.
mm,
Especially growing up in my life, it was very, very complicated, because for a long time I thought my sister was my mom, because that's
mm.
all I saw.
Right,
So
right.
so a lot of people would hear my sister talk to me, and talk down to me, as if that she was my mom, and they were like, "Dude, why are you letting your sister talk to you like that?" And I'm like, well, she's a grown up. And she was like, dog, she ain't that grown. That's your sister. Your mom is your mom. And I was just like, well, she's not here. So she's
Right,
doing this. And
right.
like, my friends would be so confused, like, and then I would go to their house and I'd be like, dude, that's your sister. Why are you talking to her like that? He was like, man, she ain't my mama. Forget her. So it was very, very confusing, growing up. But that's where I started to, like, shrink myself and be small, because, you know, I would that's just I was just told to just shut up. And
Mm,
me being a Capricorn and me being, very, very disciplined at that age, I just, that's exactly what I did, you know. So there was a lot of times where I was quiet, and I wasn't the most popular, but people knew who I was, but I wasn't the most popular. But going into my senior year, a lot of things changed, especially with girls. And
right.
I hung around with this guy who was like 10 years older than me, who would go to New York, and he would go to New York and come back with clothes like, and back then.
Sound like the garment district. Okay, he's probably in the
Yes.
garment district. Yeah.
Broadway,
Yeah.
you know, Canal Street.
Yep.
He would come back with so much clothes, and he would sell them. And I'm like, man, how'd you like,
Yeah.
like put me on? And he was like, I got you. And he took me to New York, changed my whole ex. Like, I came back with a different hairdo. Like senior year, people was like, who is that? Because like because like back then you either rock polo, heel figure,
Mm-hmm.
or and
Pele
then
Pele.
like Pele
Fubu.
Pele, like Fubu. But then what came around that time was Iceberg. Everybody
Yes.
knew
Yes.
Iceberg,
Mm-hmm.
or Fendi, Gucci, you know, and I had access to all of it. And I remember when I first got back. I remember the first when we got back to school around Christmas. I had like this whole iceberg outfit. I even had a chain, and like LL Cool J was my guy back then.
Okay.
LL Cool
Okay.
J.
I
Everybody
see where you're
wanted to
going
be.
with that. Yeah. Okay.
Everybody wanted to be like LL Cool. Everybody wanted. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be like him. I didn't have a body, but I sure was like,
You had the swag.
I had the swag, and the chain, the boots, and like I even changed my hair, and my hair was like, it was permed out. And the way that my homeboy did it is that it was permed out, and I had these big curls, these big locks, and it didn't. It was nice. It was nice.
It wasn't
It really was. It wasn't that bad.
pearls.
It wasn't that bad, but it was very, very smooth. The way he cut my hair and the way he put it in, man, I was lined up. I was. You couldn't tell me nothing.
Oh my
But
God. I
but then I
cannot.
had I had one of my friend. I had one of my friends. His name is Nashon. Big ups to him. He gave me my props, but I would walk down the hall, and all you heard was follow the drip, follow the drip, follow the drip.
Got the drip.
Because it was very, very curly. But like the some of the ladies loved it, and some of them was like,
Yeah, I do.
little too much.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was nice. It wasn't the hanging. What I'm saying, I had a nice little fade. What I'm saying, it was curled. I just looked like I was
Yeah,
I was
you still,
Mexican.
yeah, you
Yeah.
was, yeah, you was not playing about that. Okay. He's like, yeah, it
I-
was still,
it was,
it was
yeah.
still doable. It was still doable.
Right, but it changed my whole identity, and I got a lot of recognition, especially when it came to girls started like to be like, oh, he cute, and I was like, oh, snap. So
Okay,
so yeah,
okay.
but
So
yeah,
apparently, whatever you had going on, it worked.
it did. It worked
Yeah.
it worked somehow. I got some attention, but high school was. I don't know my intellect or what, but high school wasn't my thing. At that point, I was selling clothes, I was selling shoes and glasses and everything like that in class. Where my GPA went completely down. I really didn't even care.
Yeah, because you was busy being smooth.
And it showed. I remember going into my counselor's office, and she was because like we was turning in our colleges that we wanted to go to, and I picked three schools. I picked a college in Chicago. I picked Central State, which is an HBCU, in University of Cincinnati, and like my counselor shut me down. She looked at my stuff and she was like, "You ain't going to
Yeah.
college." And
Mm.
I was like, "Oh." And my sister instilled, embedded college into my brain because she knew I wanted to play football. She
Mm-hmm.
knew I wanted to do things and be better. But like it was every day. You're going to college. You're going to college. You're going to college. And when that lady told me that I wasn't going, it sparked something in me, and I was like, I will. I'm going to college. You know what I'm saying? No matter, I don't care. It may not be these, but I'm going to college. And um, the crazy thing about that is that have you ever heard anybody going to college without graduating high school? Never heard of it, right?
No, but you skipped a
I
grade or like you skipped
I didn't skip. I didn't skip. It's just how it
like a
happened is
because I know
that
some people who had do college courses while
Mhm.
in high
Right.
school.
I
Yeah.
didn't do any. I didn't do any college courses. I didn't do anything. But the college, the art school that I wanted to go to was in Chicago, and um and back then we had the Ohio State proficiency test, and you had to take that and pass every genre in order to graduate. Now, I had all my credits and everything to graduate, but I was missing a lot of the proficiency. I think it was science and math, and I had to take it all the way up until I graduate, and I didn't pass it, but I got accepted to the school in Chicago. And I told my counselor, I said I didn't pass, but is there something that we could work out to where if I do go to school, I can still go and finish up and take the test because I have my credits. He was like, yeah, I know you got your credits. It's just that and I actually got accepted, and I got into school. And when I
Mm.
got to school, I would say I was in Chicago for a year because I did 2 semesters, and I promise you, it was like night and day because, of course, it was art and it was something that I was very, very into. I I ended up getting I got a 3.0 GPA in college
Mm.
versus
Mm.
a
Mm.
1.7 in high school. It goes to
Right.
show that,
Right.
where your
It
mindset
go by
was.
you're right, because and that and
And
what I wonder, how did you go back to that counselor that said you wasn't going to college, that she just wrote you off?
actually, I didn't do that yet. And I'm gonna get you there. But I got to school and I got a 3.0 GPA in Chicago. And I remember I got reported to the office. And when I went to the office and the lady said, "Hey, we're missing your graduating date on your transcripts. We need those for you to continue school." And I was like, "Well, my counselor, if you talk to my counselor, we have an agreement to do this, this, and that." And don't you know, I could not find him anywhere.
What?
I could not find him anywhere. I searched because she gave me a deadline that she was like, you got a week to talk to the counselor
Wow.
and get your transcripts. Unless if you don't, we're going to have to discharge you. And I was like, okay.
Mm.
And I looked for that guy all week. Come to find out, he got fired. So everything that I did from my artwork, I learned how to sew because my
Wow.
major
Okay.
was yeah my major was fashion design. So I was learning how to sew. I was learning all types of genres of art, drawing in chalk, pen and ink, everything.
Right.
And my uncle was proud. My uncle was proud because I would send him my work.
Right.
And since I couldn't find him, I got sent home. And
Oh, no. That
you
is
talk about a
horrible.
oh yeah, you talk about a depressed moment.
Oh my God.
I sat in my room for a whole week pissed. And just to let you know, like I told you how much I love TV, this is like a insult to injury. Every movie that I would turn on or just change the channel to was a movie in Chicago.
Wow.
Like Save the Last Dance. I hated that movie just because it was in Chicago.
Because
I
of that,
hated
right?
it
Yeah, it
just
was
be
triggering.
just because of it. Because like every shot that I saw, I knew exactly where it was at. I knew it was like, and
Mm.
I knew where I was when at that moment, like I was there before. I was there. I was on that train. But I got so discouraged and so disappointed that I didn't want to do anything. And to add more insult, I got a call from my high school, and they were saying, "Hey, due to you not passing the proficiency, you have to redo your senior year." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, you have to
Wow.
redo your senior year and study for the proficiency." And you talking about me crying? I'm what 18. I'm actually what 18 at the time. I cried because I had to go back to school. People that I didn't want to face no more. The
Right.
undergrads, and I was just like, this is crazy. And my sister, because like my mom was like, just get your GED. You ain't got to go back to school. Get your GED. And I was like, nah. And then my sister was like, look, sometimes you got to do what you don't want to do to get to where you want to go. You
Mm-hmm.
said you want to. You said you want to go to college. You said you want to do this, and you said you want to do that. What are you going to do? Are you going to? Because you can't even get certified because so you don't have your
The
high school
diploma.
diploma.
Yeah,
So
that sucks.
you're gonna have to do it.
Mm.
So I signed back in to go to high school, and I hated every minute of it.
I could
And
imagine.
then and the thing is that I wasn't the only one. I had like three other people that was forced to go back to high school, and I remember one of the ladies' mothers started to go to the board to boycott that and just study for the proficiency, which actually happened. And my last day of it getting approved for us to that we could go home and just study for the proficiency, 9/11 hit.
Mm.
And um and then after that, a lot of stuff changed. And I didn't and this is how long it took. That was 2000, that was 2002, 2001, 2002. I graduated in 2001. Got to college in 2002, and it took from 2003 to actually get my diploma. I finally passed it, and
Ooh.
I remember that day walking in to my high school. My principal, Mr. Love. Mr. Love was an awesome guy. Loved that guy. And I remember walking in, and he was like, "Hey, you did it, and I'm very, very proud of you." He took me into this closet, and he went to it. He got the little folder, and I was like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah." And then he opened his closet, and it was a stack of diplomas, and I was just like, "Wow." Started like shuffling through them like it was cards, and he
Mm-hmm.
found my name. He put it in there, and he was like, "This is a lot of dedication, and you should be very, very proud of yourself." And I'm proud of you. And I say for a week, I slept with that diploma.
Mm. Yeah, because you've been
Or
through some stuff. I mean, you had
I,
some.
I,
You had some.
it was up and
Wow.
down, and that in a nutshell has been my life. Is my life has been completely like that, and um, and so once I did that, I was like, you know what? I don't want to go back to Chicago, but I do want to do something. And I knew that I was good in massages because I was always giving my sister a massage when she get off of work. My mom, she would get off of work, I would give her a massage, and my sister was like, you should do massage therapy. And I was like, I'll try it. And I learned a lot, but I sucked. I sucked at the anatomy of things. When it came to the mechanics of doing massages, oh, I had A's and B's across the board, But when it came to the medical stuff, it didn't click. So
Right.
so when I didn't pass when and I had a GI Bill that paid for my tuition, and
Mm.
the tuition ran out, so I got kicked out of that school. And at that point, I was like, you know what? The hell with school. I don't want to sit.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
want
you
to.
had all kind
I,
of red tape, huh, Fred? You just had
I
all
was
kind
like,
of red
oh yeah,
tape.
oh yeah. I was like,
Wow.
I'm not doing school no more. I'm not going to do it. And I I just started working. And once I started working for an airline,
Okay.
American. I started working for American Airlines, and um, very, very, very humbling moment because working in the airlines for in Ohio, you want to talk about how cold it is on those cold days and cold nights being outside with no trees blocking the wind, like below it's like -7 outside.
Mm.
You pulling out those bags and throwing them onto the plane, taking
Mm.
them off.
Mm.
It was it. You definitely thought about your life on those days. Like, man, I know it got to be better. Something got to give. I know my life is better than this.
Yes.
And I tell you, it was those couple years wasn't. So I end up I went from that job to working for Avis, and man, the people that run through that airport, you won't believe. Like I ran into, and this is another one that actually changed my whole perspective because like I felt like nothing in my life was working, nothing, and I was just like, man, something got to give. And
Mm-hmm.
one day, it's funny. Dave Chappelle, this one of my coworkers was like, Dave Chappelle is in the airport, and I was like, for real? I was like, oh man, I was like, man, I would like to talk to him. And at the time, I didn't know how cool Dave Chappelle was, but he ended up walking down the hall, and I ended up seeing him. So I got up, and I was like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And you know how he got his smokes. He was like, yeah, what's up? And I was like, how did you get to where you are, and what does it take? What is it this? Because like I I want to do comedy, but I also love acting. So what your perspective, and what advice can you give me? And
Right.
he was like, well, I'm gonna tell you something. He put it in his mouth, he flicked it, and he was like, in life, he said, make all the mistakes that you can, because when you're famous, there you can't make no mistakes. And when he said that, it didn't register. It didn't register right off until 7 years ago,
Mm.
because you know you and see, like with me, it didn't register because I always made mistakes. Like I felt like my whole life. That's all I've been doing. So I'm like, what do you mean? Because each mistake that I make, what I'm saying, doesn't do anything for me. But but it registered later on, and then he said, if you're going to do stand up, do it every day, no matter what. You go in, get your reps in, and just do it. And he was like, when I come back into town, I want to know how you do. And
Wow.
I was like, all right. I walk back to my desk, and I'm like, he ain't gonna see me. He probably don't even remember who I was. The very like 2 months later, he gets off a plane, he walks past me, he had his cigarette, and he was like, did you go? And I was like,
Wow. He
yeah.
remembers you.
He remembered me, and I was like, yeah, I went. And he was like, it scared the mess out of me. He was like, hey, keep going, don't quit.
Wow. This is amazing.
And I was like, he remembered who I was. Wow. And then it made me want to do more research on him. And so I found out that he took theater classes to develop stage presence. And I was like, oh, theater classes. And
Yes.
I had that in the back of my head, but I was like, classes? That means I gotta go to school. Nope, I'm not doing it. Went right back,
PTSD.
started went right back to work, started doing my work thing. And one day, um, I started hating my job, and I was just very, very frustrated, and like I just wanted to get to let go of everything. I really didn't care. I literally
Yes.
was like,
Yes.
I was like, God, I want to go home. you know.
Mhm.
And I cried and cried and cried. And I remember going to going to my mailbox in my apartment. I was going to my mailbox and a high school friend of mine showed up and he was like, Fredo, what's up? And I was like, what's going on? And I started chopping it up with him. And he started talking about changing his life and going back to school and things like that. And I was like, yeah, well, so you go ahead and have fun with that. And he was like, well, can you do me a favor? I need to fill out my paperwork to get enrolled back into school. Can you take me? And I was like, yeah, I'll take you. But like, I was like, I'm gonna let you know this now. I'm not going to school with you, so don't ask me. And he was
Yeah.
like, he was like, all right, I got you.
School was a trigger.
I took him to campus, and you know he was out for a couple of years. He was out for a couple of years. So, but everybody knew who he was. He was a very popular dude. Everybody knew who he was. He was doing all the paperwork, and then we went across the quad, and I saw a football field, and I was like, oh snap, y'all got football here? Because it was a D3 school. And he was like, yeah, we got football. And he was like, you could play, right? And I was like, Jay, I'm not coming to this
Right.
school, bro. And he was like, bro, you can play. And I was like, I got to be recruited. How is he going to find me? And at that time I was 23. I was 22. I was 22 at the time. And he was like, dude, it's a D3 school. They take anybody. And I was like, really? He was like, I'm telling you. And I was like, man, you lying. So I walk with him. I go to walk with him to the sports department because that's where his most of his studies is. And
Mhm.
he ran into the football coach. And he knew the football coach. And he was like, yeah, just want to let you know that you got somebody coming in next year. And he was like, oh yeah, we love to have you. And I looked at him and I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, we love to have you. And I was like, oh shoot. And I was like, so we walked away and I was like, bruh, where's the application at? So I went and filled out the application, and like maybe like a week or so later, the counselor called me and was like, hey, I heard you wanted to come to school, and just go ahead and send me your transcripts. And I knew it was a long shot because this school is a liberal arts school, and your grades got to be here.
Mhm. Mhm. Right.
And he was like, so I sent him my transcripts from all schools. He was like, there's a lot of progress here, but what happened in math? What happened in English and all this type of stuff. He was like, in order to come to this school, you're gonna have to get your math up, and you're gonna have to get your reading and stuff up. And I was like, you know what? Never mind. I'm not even gonna do it. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that, but I
Yeah. So
am
what
gonna
was the
say,
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I was about
uh-huh.
to ask you. So what was the overall outcome of that?
The overall outcome, it took me 2 years to get into college.
Mm.
So it took me 2 years to get into college. And the funny thing about what actually made me go that route was um, I got into I was trying to get recruited to go to the Air Force, and I took the ASVAB, and guess what? I needed math, so I need to
Mm.
get my math up. And I was like, you know what? Forget this. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to the community college, get my grades up, and I'm gonna go play football. And that's what made me change my decision. And it took me 2 years to actually get into school because it was one class after another that he just kept telling me to do, and I just knew that I had to do it at that particular time because that voice in my head from my sister, you got to do what you don't want to do. Think about the stuff that you don't want to do, but think about where you want to go. And that was it. I did it, and I got into school, and I actually got on the football team, and I started playing. And
Nice.
that and that was something that I knew that my life changed. And I remember the first day of practice, I was crying, and the coach was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like I got another chance on life. And he was like, "Yeah,"
Mm.
because like I was 24, I'm a 24-year-old freshman at a 4-year college with dorms and everything. I had a dorm. I left my job. I left my apartment.
Right.
I left all of that to actually
Right.
spend all 4 years of my life, saying sharing a room with a person and all that. And that's where I playing football and then had a theater program, and it was a decision to figure out what my major was going to be. And I thought about my dad because he's a pastor, and I was like, I should try that. But then I was like, no, I'm not my dad. I'm not him. I won't be like him. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do theater. And I did. We had there was an audition for the theater program, and the first time trying out auditioning, I sucked. But what the beauty of it was is that I knew improv. I was very, very
Right.
good with improv, and I was very, very quick. And they loved it, but I didn't get it. So, and I knew when it in certain areas in life when you go out for something and you don't get it, you be like, oh, it wasn't for me. Or you're gonna be like, what am I gonna do to get better?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm press. Yeah. I'm
And
press on. Be persistent.
and and that was the thing. I went to the director and I was like, hey, what would it take for me to be better, as to be on stage, to be casted? And he said you have a lot of natural abilities,
Hmm.
but I would say your reading, you know, your reading, start developing, and start reading out loud and start doing it, and that's going to do it. So for the end of that semester, I actually took an acting class in Cincinnati, and when I tell you, it was like night and day.
Mm.
I went from not being casted to being casted every semester
See.
in each thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it was night and day. And the acting started to overshadow the football, and I kept getting hurt too. So what I'm saying, when
Right.
you
Right.
like 20 at the age of 24, you're pretty much in football years, your
Right.
grandpa.
Right. Right. You
So
retired. Mm-hmm.
I was like, and plus, but I was doing I was good, but my knees and shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
I dislocated both my shoulders, both
Mm.
my ankles.
Mm.
I tore up my knee just a little bit. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna go
Let's sit
into
this
I'm gonna
one
do this
out.
theater.
Yes. Let's focus on
So
the acting. Yeah.
and when I did that, it was just one after another, and I felt, even though I was doing that, I also felt like I was making history, because from freshman year to my junior year, I was the black actor there that was actually doing theater.
Really. Mm.
Most of everybody was behind the scenes doing behind the scene work. I was actually doing it,
Mm.
and each time I was going on stage, I was developing and developing, and like I was developing the love of it, because I literally got lost in the words. I literally got, fixated on the action. And then, when it comes to doing it live, oh man, because you don't see anybody in the stands. It's just you and the lights, and you and that person, or you and the group. And like I just did my thing. I got lost in it, and I was like, oh yeah, I love this. I love this. And then but I started to get better and better. And my senior year, I managed to open and close the show my
Mm.
senior year. And that in itself changed, because it it actually the I was in a relationship, and she broke up with me. And that breakup was the best thing ever, because when she told me that it was over, I was stuck by myself, real, real quiet, and I had no idea what to do.
Mm.
But what I end up, I looked over and I saw a folder with the script in it of the play, and I didn't even sleep that night. I I I went through that script from top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, till the sun came up. And then when we went to go practice on the days I would practice with the crew. I would just I would do the once I learned the blocking. Once I learned the blocking, I started running my lines with the blocking when nobody is there. I was it was actually like I simulated everything myself, and I did it every day all the way up until
Wow.
show day. And when I mean I was Michael for 2 months. I was Michael for 2 months. I didn't feel like Fred. I didn't feel like anything. And I remember I remember the first show. Um, I was nervous, but I also was excited at the same time because my aunt was there, and I got to the top of the steps, and the lights shined on me. I started my lines, and it was flowing, but I locked eyes with my mom, and I was like,
Mm.
it's crazy because like it's dark, So I was like, how did I lock eyes with my mom? So I got shook, and I paused for a minute, and then I came back and did my thing from start to finish. And you talk about a standing ovation. He's talking about, saying just everybody just clapping. I was just like, oh, this feels so good. This feels so
Mm.
good. And
Yes.
I remember going backstage. My mom had this big grin, just big. She was just, you know, and my aunt was like, "You messed up, didn't you?" And I was like, Auntie, you wasn't supposed to see that, but she was like, "You did great, loved it," and that was the
And it was
that
up
was the
from there.
change.
It was a
It
start.
was up for me.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And
Oh
so
yeah.
how did that go? How did that transform into film?
Oh man, how it transformed into film after high school. I mean college. Um, I really was trying to really figure out what was the next step and how to get into film. And a buddy of mine that I went to college with, he I inspired him to do acting, but he wanted to do it in film, and he actually knew where to go and what to do. I didn't. I had the tools, but didn't know no direction.
Where to go? Hmm.
He was just starting, but he knew exactly where to go. So he was like, take these. There's an acting class in Columbus. Saying, check this out. You should go. And I remember, um, back being back home, and I drove to Columbus, took the class, and big up to JW Myers, man. He was he's still dope to this day. A nice guy, very smooth and calm spoken. And I remember going into the first day of class, he was shocked. He was actually
Mm.
shocked by my improv skills and the way I read. He was like, "Oh, so you really got some chops?" Because the people that was in his class was kind of, on the verge of being either you were a strict beginner or you were actually like right there.
Mm.
And I was kind of in the middle. And he was like, "You got some chops. I like that." And I started like each class I was growing every day. And I remember I told him I couldn't. I think I lost my job at that time, and I told him that I couldn't come to the class anymore. And this is why, like, I love JW to this day, is that he pulled me to the side and he was like, you know, I'm sorry about your job, but I really want you to continue to be in this class. You don't have to pay me. Don't tell nobody,
Mm.
but you don't have to pay me. Just keep coming, man. Just keep coming. And I did. And
Wow.
when I did, I showed him my gratitude by showing up every single day, because
Yes.
you don't have like that's not just you know a gesture. He saw something in me, and at that particular time, I didn't see that he saw something in me. I just knew that it was an opportunity to just keep doing and keep going. And that's what I did. And he put so much into me and was like, man, you're good. You
Mhm. Mhm.
you make it look very, very easy. And I know you're not, he was like, he even put me on the spot. He was like, I know you're not working right now. I know you're not working. And I know that's a big deal for you. And that's something you want to work. We all need to work. But he was like, do not forget about this
Right.
because you are gifted. You have a gift. And out of all the things that I ever done, football, massage therapy, drawing, my artwork and everything like that. Nobody has told me that I had a gift in it, but this.
Yes.
And, you know, especially at that particular time, I was so work driven that I like, yes, I love doing this, but I need work. So I was like, thanks JW, but I got to work. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I would show up to class and just do my thing. And there was an opportunity. 2013, he was like, I got a movie and I
Mhm.
want you to be a part of it. I want you to audition. And I was like, shoot, I'll audition. Cool. I drove 3 hours from Dayton to Wheeling, Virginia to do this audition. And I was nervous because, what I'm saying, it was a live audition and I'm just completely nervous, but I had the lines in my head. I'm going over. And I got in there and he was like, all right, see what you got. And I delivered and it was like, that was amazing. I loved it.
Wow. Yes.
And he told me right then, he was like, you got it. And you want to talk about the most exciting moment ever? I was like,
Yeah, I can imagine. What movie was this?
it's called Christmas Tree Miracle.
Okay.
It was a Christmas film, and he gave all the money and the proceeds to autism because I do believe it's
Oh,
either her daughter or his
yeah,
daughter
it
or
was
her son
beautiful.
had, and he wanted to do it with that in mind, and I that time was a great time and it was humbling also because not only was I an actor in it, well, it was a small part. It was definitely a small part, but that part, showing up, I I told my since I wasn't working, I was like, I'm gonna show up and I'm like, hey, if you need some help behind the scenes, what I'm saying,
Right.
let
Right.
me know. And he was like, hey, come up earlier, what I'm saying, you can hold the boom, you can hold the light, you can, what I'm saying, and being being there behind the scenes was so motivating because everything that I was doing and the people that were trained and actually had a lot of experience, they were what they were doing. I was just like, I could do that. I'm already doing that.
Right.
And this guy, his name is Kevin Sizemore, a very very well known actor in LA. He's been in on Weeds. He's been on Transformers. He's been on a ton of things, and I managed to. I had a scene with him. I had to kick him out of I had to kick him out of a hotel, and and the first take, I was real nervous. I'm stuttering a little bit, and JW was like, "Hey, come here." He was like, "Look, give me give me some gangster, give me some hood, give me some, and like I know you're nervous, but just what I'm saying, it's just like we in class. Just don't worry about it. And then Kevin was like, I know I'm the lead in this, but this is your scene.
Mm.
This is your scene. This is your time. Own it, use it, and let's work. And after that, something just clicked on. I did
And
my
that was it.
thing,
That was it.
and that was it. And he was like, nothing is over until they say cut. So when you're walking away, you look at me. You give me the most dirtiest look, and then go down the steps. I was like, all right, cool. I did my lines, And then I took one step and I looked back and I gave him a look like this. And he said, cut. He was like, I love it. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, here we
So
go.
yeah, so that would led up. So what led up to like the Tubi space?
Oh man. After that, life hit me. Life hit me. I I tore my knee in 4 or 5 places, I believe, just by playing sports.
Mm.
And I tore my ACL. I had tore a cartilage and 2 tendons, and I had nerve damage in my foot. And I was actually on the road because I had just my JW got me an interview with a talent agency in Cincinnati, and I got it, but when I tore my knee, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go anywhere for like almost 6 to 9 months, and I was just like, I can't win. Like I'm just on a roll. I just did a movie and I had things lining up. Now I can't take it. And the job that I did have, it was an internship at a news station, and they had to let me go because it was an internship, not a job, so they couldn't hold me. So I was just like, man, this is
Yeah,
not
another
this
setback.
sucks.
Yeah. Mm.
So that's when all that time I started writing. I started writing scripts just to keep my head afloat. And for 9 months, it was just it was terrible. And I gained what 35 pounds. So I'm like big. I'm just husky and everything. Uh, my health was starting to go left.
Fine.
I was on the verge of diabetes. I was on the verge of hypertension. I was losing circulation in my legs. Going up the steps, can't breathe. I even caught gout. I caught
Wow.
gout,
Oh
and
no.
once I went to the doctor, and he was just like, "Man, you got to change the way you eat. You got to
Right.
do this and you got to do that." And I was like, "All right, I will." I started working out a little bit, and it was working. But then I think I got sick, and I just said, you know what, forget working out. And then I got bigger. I gained another 10 pounds, and then I started to lose circulation in my legs again. And when you, as a man, we lose circulation in our legs, you know what I'm saying? What's the next thing that's going to lack?
Yeah. Yeah.
So my doctor was like, again, lose weight. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay.
You don't want to start getting limbs cut off.
I was like, all right, cool.
Mm.
So I was trying to figure out what I could do other than what I was already doing. And like this girl I went to college with, she started bodybuilding. And when she started bodybuilding, she started to take these she was starting to take photos of all the meals of her
That she would eat.
groceries.
Okay.
She would take pictures
The
of
meal
her
prep.
groceries and then she would meal prep. And I was like, hey, you mind if I take the pictures and just, what I'm saying, use it? And like I started to do those type of things. And like I started to lose weight. I started to lose weight, feel good about myself. And I was going to the gym regularly. And one day I ran into this bodybuilding coach,
Okay.
Mr. Bobby. Mr. Bobby. And, I looked, I definitely did. My father wasn't around, and my stepfather that was around, I definitely didn't take him seriously and didn't, you know, I didn't take him seriously, and I didn't take his rearing and his love because I was focused on my mom, and he had my mom's attention. So I felt like I was in
Oh,
competition
oh
with him.
gotcha.
So any type of love that he was trying to give me, I wasn't hearing it because like you got my mama, man. I won't,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
so
Territorial.
me and him me and him hit a lot of hit a lot of things, but he still loved me. He still put everything he put a lot of discipline in me, which makes me who I am today. But my bodybuilding coach, he took it to a whole different level.
Mm.
And I've always found it ironic because his name was Bobby, and my stepdad his name is Robert. He passed away.
Oh
So
wow.
and my coach treated me like I was his son. He took me in. He gave me the blueprint. I remember the first
Mhm.
conversation. I remember the conversation that we had. He's like, you should be a part of the bodybuilding team. And I was like, Coach, I'm not a bodybuilder, man. Like, I'm like, look at me. He was like, that's the beauty of it. He was like, you give me 6 months. 6 months, you'll be 188 pounds. Oh my gosh. Ooh.
Yes, yeah,
Oh,
man.
that is my first show. My very first show.
Yeah.
He said you're going to be 188 pounds and you're going to be 8% body fat. And,
Mm.
and I was like, all right, I'll buy into it. What I need to do. He he gave me the blueprint on what to eat, how to eat, what times I needed to eat it, and everything. So,
That's
and
yes.
when that happens, your mindset changes. Like I was a shoe guy. I had every Jordan, every Air Force One that you could think of. I was always spending almost $300 on shoes, and that was that's how I knew that I was maturing and growing up because I spent the money that I spent on shoes is the money that I spent on groceries for like 3 weeks.
Mm.
And,
Wow, that's amazing. And
and
that's such true commitment. I mean, I
oh
commend you
yeah,
so much. That is
oh
so,
yeah.
I mean, that's so amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I appreciate it because, and
Yeah.
it also what I learned the discipline that I learned, what I'm saying, actually gives me the discipline to do what I do today
Do what you do.
because I still work out and I still meal prep. Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is amazing, Fred. No, this is amazing. Like, no, because
Oh my
I'm
goodness,
showing this because it just really, and it's helping me because
oh my goodness.
because I look at people like you that have to, you know, to put so much work and commitment and discipline into this
Mm,
journey. It is so not easy, especially as you get
mm,
older. And for me as a woman, it's just I've been so
mm,
discouraged. I've been like the last few years, I've been really trying to get into back into the groove, but it's been hard for me.
mm.
So just seeing
Yeah,
stuff like this is just, it's really
yeah.
amazing to me.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when I look at that big guy, man, I'm like, you have no idea where
Mhm.
where that where that's going to come from.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
no idea because
That's amazing.
I I tell you, I don't even remember the the I probably say the last 8 months of that
Mm.
transition. I was so locked in, and
Yes.
I had a team behind my back every day, and I was at the gym every day. And
Mm.
like I was at the gym so much that my bodybuilding coach was like, "Hey, go home. Go home."
Wow.
And I was like, "Nah." I was like, "Ain't nothing at home. Ain't nothing for me at home." And he was like, "Don't say that, but you do need some rest."
Yeah, your mind was on it.
It
Like, you was not it was
like I
no
was
back. Yeah,
oh
that
man. Like cuz even the people that on my team was already fit. Either they were fit or they were trying to get bigger. Me, I'm trying to lose it. So I I knew that I had to work harder just to even be where just to even just hang out with them. And it was and that's all I saw. And like all I could say, and I remember in the process of changing, I was like, man, I lose all this weight in the middle of the winter. I'm like definitely gonna have my shirt off. I don't care where I'm gonna be at. I don't care. I was like, I'm having my shirt
yeah,
off.
you
I was like, hell, I may even walk outside with just a leaf covering my what, just to because I was like because
like, I worked hard for this. You gonna see all of
I
this. You
worked
gonna get to
I
looking.
worked hard. I worked
Yeah,
so
yes.
hard.
Yes, yes.
And when I tell you when that first the day of the show, oh my gosh. My coach was surprised because like he didn't even expect me to get second place. He was just hoping that I just placed. But the
Mm.
fact that I got second place on my first try, he was like, we on to something. We on to something. And he pulled once we were done, he was like, "Look, we're gonna go right into the next. We're gonna go right into the next show. So you're not gonna have an off season. I want to get you back on the program, get you back eating. So I'll probably say 2 years for 2 years straight. I did not have a cheat meal.
Mm.
2 years straight. I was strict on that, and like the weight
Mm.
was coming off, the inches was coming off, and when I tell you, I got so muscular and so big. You know, I did the next bodybuilding show. I I was next to this guy and I looked at him and I was just like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna win this. I don't know if cause like I actually I was supposed to go up against a smaller guy, but it got switched and he went into a whole nother category and I'm next to this guy who's been bodybuilding for years. You know, he got pro cards in like three different shows. So I'm just going up against him and it's me and him standing toe to toe and it was a really good battle. I got second
Wow.
place again. I got
Wow.
second place
That's amazing.
and I was tighter, sharper, you know,
Yes.
the man
Healthier.
boobs were, huh?
Healthier.
Healthier,
And you
you
said the
know,
bamboos was gone. Yeah, that's
the
yeah,
the
good.
man
That's good.
boobs, the
Yeah.
man boobs was
Bamboos.
gone,
No more. Oh yes.
and
Good. Good.
oh yeah, and the greatest thing about bodybuilding is that overall we have a panel where we're doing pose and everything like that, but the finale is that we get to do a showcase of what we look like in movement and music,
Okay.
and and I always thought of myself as this Neo. I felt like I was Neo and being sexy at the time at that time, and I would and in my routine I always had this fedora hat, and I would do my moves and I would pose and then like I'd take my hat and I would throw it out in the out in the open and everybody and just that moment felt like I was in theater. So it was still
Okay.
it's
Okay.
it still had the dynamic of
Yes. Yes.
performing. It still
Yes.
had the dynamic of, what I'm saying, putting a routine together, getting lines and knowing doing movements because you have to it's a silhouette to go from one
Yes.
muscle
Mhm.
to another muscle
Right.
and doing that in dance and in a sequence. I was just it was amazing.
That is
And
amazing.
and I really saw myself like trying to be a pro. I really did. But God definitely has something different for me
Mhm. Mhm.
because I really feel like he in many many ways, especially when it came to going to school in Chicago, I felt like looking back, God was like, you're on the right track about going to school, but you know what I'm saying, it's a different genre that I want you to get yourself into. So instead of fashion design, I want you to do theater. But then when it came to bodybuilding, he's like, all right, I got you in the bodybuilding. I got you losing weight. I got you
Right.
exactly where I
Mhm.
want
Where you
you.
need to be. Yep.
Now I need you to get back into your acting.
Yeah. Things happen in a divine
And
order. Yep.
and
Mhm.
that's what happened. And that transition really was an eye opener because um 2019 I was working. I didn't lose my job yet. I was going through it with one in my relationship, and I was taking it really really hard. She really like, even though like I was on the top of losing weight and getting things, getting my body together. I'm working, and she tore me down.
Mm.
She tore me down, and but she also built me up. She tore me down and built me up, tore me down, built me up, and then it was so much that I couldn't take, and I
Right.
started. I started to when you don't know yourself, people will tell you who you are, and
You start believing it.
you believe it. And I believe that I wasn't nothing because that's what she's
Mm.
telling me. You ain't
Mm.
gonna be nothing. You ain't gonna be nothing but just, you know what I'm saying, with this body you got, that's all you're gonna be. And you're gonna
Really? Is
yeah, she said that's all you're gonna be, and you ain't gonna be nothing without me. And
so I wonder what she's doing now while she's watching you on screen.
who she I tell you what, I got a message from her about 2 years ago. It was like, oh, I'm proud of you. I'm like, oh, you told me I wasn't nothing though.
Oh no! So wait a minute. No, you know what? You know, like I said, see, I'm not a cusser, so I'm gonna let Mr. Porter do it for me.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Oh
That's
yeah.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah. And like when I tell you, like she broke me down so much, and it was like it was an everyday thing, telling me that I'm nothing. You can't do nothing without
Hmm.
me. All that. And I remember I was in my satellite truck. So I was working for Channel 2 News,
Oh,
and
okay.
I had downtime. I had downtime, and I was in a parking lot at the gym. I was getting ready to go into the gym and work out with my downtime, but I couldn't make it in there because I was crying.
Mm.
Her words was in my head that I
Yeah,
was nothing.
yeah.
My mom, we wasn't getting along, and I was just
Mm.
like, man, there is nothing for me. There's nothing for me. I was like, God, I'm
Like
trying.
I can't catch a
I'm,
break.
I
Hmm.
can't catch a break. So I go into my bag and I got this knife, and this knife it was jagged edges on it, and I messaged a friend. I messaged a friend of mine. And I was like, I'm done with this shit.
Oh.
Excuse my French, but I was like,
Mm-mm.
I'm done. And I put the
Mm.
phone down, took the knife, and
Mm.
I slid it. Nothing happened. No blood,
Mm.
no nothing. So I did it again. Nothing happened. I just kept going,
Mm. Mm.
and nothing but just ash. And I'm like, this is a knife with
Mm.
ridges.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get a phone call from my sister going off on me. Like, what are you doing? My friend called my sister, and
Yes. Ballistic.
she was like, "What are you doing? You're not." And I just broke down crying. And at that particular time, my sister, she was in Texas. She got on a flight the very next day, and to come and get me. And I was actually at my girlfriend's gym because she had her own gym. She was a bodybuilding coach, and she had her own gym. And
Okay. Okay.
I was actually training uh group training a class, and my sister showed up, and man, my sister looked.
Let you have it.
She didn't let me have it, but she sure gave my girlfriend at the time a
The
look
business. Mm.
of business, and she was like, "Hey, come here. You coming to Texas with me?" And I spent some time with her in Texas, but also I realized that my sister was no different from my ex at the time because they both
Mm.
controlling. They're both in male dominant industries,
Right.
and
Military.
military and
Bodybuilding,
body.
fitness,
So they they have a female stoic to them, and it was controlling.
and that's where that emasculation come in at. The same way you
Yeah,
thinking that
yeah,
you're uplifting, because in a way they think that's being helpful.
yeah. Yeah.
But it's not. No.
But it didn't
Yeah.
help me.
Mhm.
It didn't help me at all. And I realized that her and my sister were one and the same, and I felt like it was against me. So I go back home, and I end up because like after that ordeal, because the family started to find out, they started to call me. I was like, man, don't do that.
Yeah.
If you have
Right.
if you're in a bad moment, call me and we'll talk. And I was like, all right. And my ex, even though that we was going through it and she was saying what she was saying, she she sent me a link to this church group. It was an
Mm.
all male church group, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go. And I went, and it was just I'm the only black guy there, and I already felt out of place, but I didn't care because like I was just like
You was
I
there
gotta
for a
figure.
purpose. Hmm.
And I sat at this table, and this guy named Rob Bales. Love this guy, great guy, and he was so in tune with God that he could hear him speak. He can feel him. And he came to me. He was like, "So what brings you in here?" And I started crying, and I
Mm.
said, "I do not know who I am."
Mm.
And I started crying, and every male at that table stood up and started praying over me.
Mm.
And I started going to that men's group every Wednesday. Every Wednesday I would go, I would get uplifted, I would uplift people. And one day, one day, it was talks about, I was telling them about, I do bodybuilding. I was an actor and everything. They was like, you act? I was like, yeah. And we was in a group, a group call or something, and I sent everybody the link of my acting class. And that particular scene was definitely a dramatic scene, but I also improv that last of it, which was also moving. So I sent it to Rob, and I come into the group the following Wednesday, and he was like, "God told me to tell you something, that there's something in that video that is not done. There's some unfinished business in there. I'm just a messenger.
Mm. Mm.
This is something that you need to go back to." And so I was so jaded because I felt like I was too big. All those things that I thought back then was what was hindering me and didn't want me to be an actor.
Right.
But I told him, I was like, if I have another opportunity to act, I'll act. I'll do it. And he was like, that's all I ask. But
Right.
do not forget about that, because there is something there, and
That
there's some
needs to be.
unfinished right
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
And I remember going back to my girlfriend at the time, who said I wasn't nothing, said, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go back to acting again. And she was like, she gonna do that stupid crap for me.
Oh.
And I was like, and I knew that she wasn't the type of person that I should talk to about it. Exactly.
Mm.
She said that,
Mm.
and I kept it bottled up. I felt like I was 8 all over again, because I told my friends I wanted to do it. They said that it was
Yeah.
stupid and
Right.
shit.
Still. Yep.
So
Downplaying it. Mhm.
so I bottled it, and the last straw was I broke up with her, and I moved in with my best friend, uh, who's my best friend to this day. Her name is Carissa, and she has MS. And I stayed with her, and it was back in my college. So she stayed. She was a RA,
Right.
and she was a RA, and she was studying for her master's. So she had an apartment on campus that she let me stay in. I didn't have to pay rent. I didn't have to pay
Mhm.
water or nothing. So
Bless
I was actually able to,
Right.
saying. And I remember she has a dog, and I was taking him for a walk while she was at work, and it was at night, and I was on campus, and when I remember walking the dog, and I sat down for a minute, and this voice said, "This is where you left me." And I was like, I sure did. Because I,
Mm.
I, I had I had God with me the whole 4 years. I
Mhm.
always talked to him.
Mhm.
Because like I was worried that I wasn't gonna finish. But when I graduated, I was on this high, and that's where I left. That's where I left him. And he was like, "This is where you left me." And I and
Mm.
I and I told him, I was like, "From this day forward, you're going
No going
everywhere I
back.
go.
No going back.
You know, and no going back." And I got back on my feet. I got another job at a news station, and um and things started to look better, but I still wasn't complete.
Mm.
I lost I gained about 20 pounds because of my what happened?
The
What did I
injury.
do? The injury. Um I gained a little more weight. Um, but then I was getting ready to do another bodybuilding competition just to get back in the swing of things. And guess what? I tore my ACL again.
Mm.
I tore my ACL, and this
Got all
time,
kind of all stuff, all kind of
right,
things going on.
I tore my ACL again, and this time I tore my lateral meniscus and my medial meniscus. So anything that's in the knee, I blew it out.
Yeah, just messed it all up.
So it took two surgeries, and because like at that time I had two jobs. I was a trainer, and I was working at Channel 22 back home, and I got hurt training
Mm,
group, and since it was part time, they were telling me that they don't have workman's comp or anything like that. So I actually had to go through I had to go through the legal route to get workman's comp,
right, right.
and that in itself was a moment in itself, because that was in 2000. That was the early part of 2020 in February I tore it. In March I ended up doing getting I ended up getting surgery. Then I got my own place in July
Okay.
in 2020. Got got into it got into it with my ex at the time, and I finally like ended it.
Mhm.
And then I had my another friend who was actually living in Atlanta. She she sent me a crap ton of jobs,
Mhm.
and I was like, okay, I'll look into it. But like the jobs that she sent me were corporate and uh, supervisors and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm not there yet, but let me look into some other places. So I looked into other places in Atlanta, and I found a job called Encompass, where that's something I was doing, and it's something that I could work with. And I was like, and before putting in, I was like, God, if this is meant for me to go, I'm gonna go. And like I said, I'm taking you with me.
Right, right.
And um, I'll probably say I got it. I got that interview in September, got the second interview, and I got the job. And I was so happy, but I was like, what the heck am I doing? I just moved in this place 6 months ago. I just got these two jobs, you know what I'm saying, and within a year of each other. Like, what am I doing? Like, is this real? I get I get on a highway to go to my gym, and as I'm driving, two cars that is like in each lane on each side of me, the license plates had Georgia on it, and I was like, hmm. And I remember, and then going home, I end up smelling, different areas have a certain smell to it. And I've been
Yes.
to Atlanta. I've been back and forth to Atlanta a few times, and I started to smell Atlanta air for
Mhm.
some reason, and I was just like, hmm. And then when I went to sleep that night, I had a dream of red clay, and red clay is all over Atlanta. So I was just like, okay, okay, I can do this. I could do this. And in spite of my injury that I had, um, I was just like, because like they wanted me to come out here in November, and I was like, that's a little too soon. How about December? And it was like, December is good. And I was like, okay. It gave me time, but I was like, okay, how am I gonna it costs a lot of money to, saying, to move and
It
uproot and everything
does.
like that.
Yes. Yes.
And when I tell you, God made so many resources for me. My aunt, my aunt gave me money, my best friend gave me money. Then my mom took my money. Then I got the money back. Then workman's comp kicked in, where I got money from that. And then I was told that when I move down there and get my first check, what I'm saying, it's going to be I'll get paid to remove to move. I got that. I was like, okay, I'm good. So I bought a U-Haul. I bought all this stuff, getting ready to go, and I was out. I was out,
Mhm.
and my first day here of work was December 12th, or December 14th, and it was, and I was like, all right, I'm here. I told God that He's gonna
Mhm.
be with me.
Mhm.
I told Rob that I'm gonna get back into acting. And I remember my acting coach who was advising us to not, if we're going to go to LA, Atlanta, or anything like that, make sure that you get yourself settled for a year first. Get settled into work, get settled into your city, get settled into your community. Just get settled, because if you don't and you jumping right into acting classes and everything like that, you're gonna run out of money and you're gonna end up coming back to Ohio. And we
Mhm.
both
Mhm.
know that you
Right.
want to
You don't want that
do
happen.
it.
Mm-mm.
So so the first year here, I did not think about acting. I didn't think about auditions. I didn't think about anything. I just stayed in the moment to just work.
Yes.
And
You need
and then
a foundation. Mhm.
right, created a foundation. And then once that year came, I was like, all right. I talked to a friend of mine. I was like, hey, where can I get myself started? And this one lady gave me a link to this place called Greenlit. Greenlit is a summit that, a network, a place to network for actors, directors, producers,
Right.
and got there, and it was, I felt like I was at home,
Mm.
And once I got there, um, just meeting Ernestine and her crew, um, it led into them doing acting classes, and they were definitely reasonable. So I got back into acting classes, and it felt like I never left acting. It felt like I never left, and I was like, oh, I'm right with exactly where
It's
I
where
am.
where I need to be. Mhm.
I was like, yeah, we're just gonna focus on acting classes. We're not gonna look for any auditions or anything like that. We're just gonna get our sea legs back. And I spent maybe about 8 months in doing acting classes with Ernestine, and then I went to the Alliance Theater to get more. And Sharon Foote did a one-on-one thing with me, and I was like, all right, I'm ready. And
Mm.
my first movie back, my first, I set up this account on Actors Access, and my first audition I landed, and I was like, oh snap. And it was my first movie called Survival Matters,
Okay.
and it was a nice size role too, because I it was and I never got a chance to play a thug, so I was ready, because like I was, I played, the background for so long. I've done all this other stuff for so long, but I actually get to be a thug and to be like, and it was the greatest experience I ever had, and even working with the people, I ended up being friends with a friend of mine. He's a friend of mine now. His name is Judah. We call him King Judah, and me and him, we vibed the most, and we connected the most. And we ever since that movie, he was like, bro, you came in and you brought it, and you showed me something, and you made me want to elevate myself. And I was like, dude, you make me want to elevate myself. I feel like we actually had the same acting styles.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's why we meshed well. And I also noticed that he started taking, after that movie, he took off, and I was just like, oh man, I'm still stuck here. But God
No, you
said
where you
something
need
to
to
me.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, and God said something. He was like, stay in your lane.
You see?
Everybody
Mhm.
everybody has a turn, and everybody
Mhm.
has a chance.
Yep.
And I was just like, all right. So I and that's where a lot of growth came from with me, on just celebrating people before me. Because I mean, when we're doing auditions and stuff and we don't get it, it doesn't mean that you're not a good actor. It just means that you're not a fit for this particular role,
Right, right.
or
What's
it's a
meant for you
bad
is for
time.
you.
Right. So there was a lot of stuff that I wasn't getting after that because I felt like that's a good momentum starter for my first time, but I didn't get anything until I didn't get my next project didn't happen until like the a year and a half after.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that was pretty much a whole thing because then I did the movie Cut with Malik Salam, and that was that itself was an experience in itself because I had to change my accent, I had to change my look. I looked, oh my gosh, like my character was Squirrel. Okay, so like I'm looking all rough. I'm supposed to be this pimp, you know, the strung out. I played a strung out pimp with a terrible Atlanta accent, and when I tell you it it pushed me and it pushed me in a way where I didn't think that I
Mhm.
could do it. But when I did it and we saw the footage, and I was like, oh man, this is gonna be hilarious and it's gonna be crazy at the same time. And till this day, there's a lot of people who don't like me because of Squirrel because
Ah, well,
he
you
was
did your job.
right. So he was definitely a diabolical one.
Mhm.
And then it's after that it started to progress more. I was
Yes.
getting more roles, but nothing tops off what's happening this year.
Yes.
This year, oh man, it's I'm more surrounded by like-minded people, and
Yes.
the coaching, the self tapes, and I'm a part of an agency now. Shout out to Southern Stars right now. Thank you very
Mhm.
much for putting me on
Yes.
because being a part of Southern Stars and being a part of the greater than cinema organization, you know, they it's I've been my coach was telling me her name is Leslie. She's well known. Everybody loves her. Shout out to Leslie and Dom. But from start to finish, she told me the other day. She said, Fred, from your first session to this session, night and day. And it's been a
Mm.
year and a half now,
Wow.
and you can tell because I've had so many submissions and so many auditions just what I'm saying from when I started with them to now that that there is some buzz circling around with of me, which I'm loving. I'm even getting phone calls saying, hey man, I got
Yeah.
a role,
Yeah. I was about
you
to
know.
ask you what's next for you. I was going to ask you that. What's next for you?
Oh man, I just finished up a really good project called Gangster's Love Story by Leo Sullivan. Big shout out to that crew. Russ Weiss, um, Castro, Castro Stagg, all of y'all is tremendous at what y'all do. Um, but I got that phone call from him because I started out as background in Gangster's Daughter 3, or was it 2?
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that movie. I
yeah,
saw that.
Gangster's
Yeah.
Daughter. I started out at background, and then Gangster's the most recent one, Gangster's Daughter 4. You know, I got into a bigger role with more lines, of course. And then he called me and was like, "Hey man, I got something perfect for you." And I was like, "What we got?" And he was like, "I'm gonna need you to come in and audition, but it's yours if you want it." And I was like, "All right, cool." And reading that script, being transforming into Frank was awesome because of not only because of the crew but the cast. Big shout out to Drew, the fabulous, amazing Drew Sidora. She was definitely a sight to see
Mhm.
because of
Mhm.
her caliber. She's been around for years.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
That's so Raven and Step Up, and especially everything that she's doing now.
Mhm.
You know, I was very nervous to take that role because it was a supporting lead role, and to go toe to toe with her and Castro, like I'm starting to feel like I belong now, and
Wonderful.
And like what made me feel so great is that Leo pulled me when it was my last day, he pulled me to the side and he was like, "Man, this is gonna make your career. I'm sure of it." And I was like,
Mm,
"Wow." And
okay.
that made me feel so good. And
Yes.
and and
That
nobody,
affirmations. Yeah.
yes, nobody can tell me anything right now. I'm
Right.
I'm
Right.
especially hearing it from Juice Adore. She was like, "Fred, you did amazing. I'm sure I'm going to see you again." And that when you hearing it from people
Yes. It
who's up
seals
there,
it.
you're like,
It seals it. Hmm.
it just to be able to, saying, go in the trenches with somebody like that. That's amazing.
It is. It
You
really is.
know,
And I
you
love it
know.
for you.
Oh yeah, I'm very very thankful. I'm very grateful, and I'm just like, I really feel like with everything that I've been through, I feel like it's still like, dude, I'm just a dude from Dayton, Ohio, and
Yes.
like people from, and like anybody that knows anything about Dayton, it's called Fentanyl City right now, because it's just
Mm,
it's
mm,
that it's that hard out there right now. And the fact that I got out and I'm doing what I'm doing, I am more humbly blessed. I am
yes.
loved in everything. I'm covered.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yes.
it is definitely a blessing. And shout out
Yes.
to all the projects that I'm already currently in, and what I've done. And I just want to
Absolutely.
do more.
Yes.
I want to be totally consumed by
You
this
will be.
gift. I want to be consumed by, the work that's being set forth. So it's a tremendous blessing.
Absolutely. And it is a blessing to actually be a part of your journey, like a smidgen part of your journey. That's all that
Yes,
matters because I'm
yes,
I'm here now, so that's a blessing for me as
yes,
well. And I
yes.
appreciate you,
Yes, and you're a
being
vessel.
part of
You're
oh,
you're 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 definitely a vessel to spread out the news of not
yes,
only, of your story, but everybody else's who have a story.
yes. And I'm loving it.
Especially, and
Mhm.
and that's the thing. You loving what you do. When you
Yeah,
wake up,
yeah.
or when you leave, you're like, man, that was all right.
It
That was
was.
all right.
Yes,
Yeah, and
absolutely.
that felt good. And like, I did something. I was on a set once, and I actually had lines, and I'm just waiting. I was waiting my turn,
Right.
and I didn't get a chance to do it.
Mm,
And they was like, "Hey, we're gonna have to shoot. We're gonna have to cancel your scene.
mm,
I
mm.
got I got something else lined up that I know you're gonna like. So just be waiting on that." And I was okay. I was
Yes,
perfectly fine because I was in my element. I was around
yes,
people who were doing the same stuff that I was doing. So my car ride home, I was I was still on cloud nine.
yes. You were still
Just
content.
to just to
Right.
be just to be in the atmosphere of it. So when you're in your moment, when you're in your gift, and when you're in, nothing really matters. Even if you
Absolutely.
don't get a chance to showcase your stuff, or to perform, but you still was in the area. That made it still made
And
my
you never
day.
know who's watching.
You never know who's watching.
Yeah,
Never know.
absolutely. But
Yes.
but Fred, I want to thank you so much just want to let you know that presenting this, and this is, you've given so much, and I really appreciate that because a lot of times when I do these interviews, we get more of like the basic, like cliff notes, but you
Yeah.
really dove deep into what really, really takes, and I really appreciate that about you, that you
Yeah.
really broke down your journey. Like you really like gave us
Yeah.
more of the inside. You
Yeah.
gave us more of the inside information, and I
Yeah.
really commend you for your journey. I mean, you had so many roadblocks, you had so many setbacks,
Yeah.
and you triumphed so much. So I want to make sure that your flowers are given,
Oh, thank you very much.
because you
Thank you very
deserve
much.
them big time. And I appreciate you sharing these gems with me because you just gave master class. I just want you to know you gave master
Oh
class
yeah.
on me. So
I'm
I really
I'm
appreciate that.
I will say that
Mm.
um with everything that I've gone through, I I would tell anybody that's like that has a dream,
Mhm.
anybody
Mhm.
that wants to do something, you know, if you have it in your mind to do it, go ahead and do it.
Yes.
Because I've put my dream on hold a few times. I put my
Yes.
gift on
Mhm.
hold a few times. I've even downplayed my gift just
Yes.
to just
Yes.
to uplift somebody else.
Yes. A piece
But
for somebody else. Mhm.
but the time for you is now. As soon as you say that you want to do something, that's what the time it is.
Absolutely.
And and go at it and protect it. I never did protect my gift up until now. You have to protect your gift, you have to protect your heart, you have to protect every single thing, because the enemy comes in. He doesn't directly come into, in certain situations. He actually
Yes.
comes in into your mindset and your thinking,
Yes.
because
Yes.
he wants to go there before he does anything
Yes.
else. And if he can get you to change your mind for a split second, he cool.
He's right. Give him a
You know,
satisfaction. Don't give him a
yeah.
satisfaction, y'all.
And
Yeah,
and,
but
and, and God works divinely.
yes, he does.
He is a
Mhm.
very, very, he works with not divine, and his timing is impeccable.
Yes. Yes.
His timing is impeccable. It's like you have he's in the spiritual realm, of course, and time is endless. So if you was to sit there, and if a kid at the age of 8 saying, God, I want to be an actor, he's gonna be like, well, that does fall in line to what I already have for you. All right, I'm gonna make sure that you have it. But in that, being in the spiritual realm and the timing, that it's going to take some time, because
Yes.
you can ask God a question saying, hey, is it possible for me to do this and this? And he's like, let me get back with you tomorrow. His tomorrow can be 10 years from now
Yep.
versus
Yep.
ours.
Yes. That's
So
right. Mhm.
so when you so those 10 years of that question, or whatever you want, comes down, it's going to come down. That blessing is going to just
And
boop.
it's all gonna make sense. It's all gonna
And it's
make
all and
sense.
it's all
Mhm.
gonna make sense.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
So he and that and in that form, he it's like that. That door can open just like that, and you cannot be afraid.
Mm-mm.
You have to be courageous. But what a lot of people don't understand is that in order to be courageous, you got to have some fear so you can be courageous. You have to. You know what I mean? Fear,
Step out
fear
on
and
faith.
courage go
Mhm.
go go together.
Mhm.
So that moment where you have that anxiety in your heart, that moment where you feeling a little, what I'm saying, a little anxious, a little scared, that's actually, what I'm saying, your soul and your angels going like, yeah, all right, it's time. Go ahead and go. And
Yes.
that moment where you be like, shuts the door. And God is be like, all right, we're gonna have to wait till he's ready. He's not
He's
ready
ready.
yet.
Is right,
We
right.
gonna,
And you never know when that's gonna happen.
yeah, we're gonna give
Yeah.
him some more lessons to learn. Now this guy on the other hand, he looks like he's ready. You ready to go? All right, let's go step in. That's how I see it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I see it. I see God as that coach on the sidelines. He's like, all right, what I'm saying, we got the play in place. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how he execute. All right.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, we got another one. We want him to run it. Oh, okay, he's not ready. All right, that's just how I see that he's watching, and he's like,
Yes.
he's doing exactly what I told him. So I I can only pray that I hear the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, because I don't want to make those mistakes and being like, I'm a little scared. I don't want to do that no more. When that
Right.
when that door
Right.
when that door opens, I'm going for it. That's just like, I'm saying, being here with you today. I was nervous. I was like, man, I have no idea what I'm getting
Fool
into.
me.
Let me look at
All
this.
right.
Let me look at this. Right. Let me look at this interview. You know what I mean? So, but but now that I'm here, I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh,
that,
oh
and that,
yes. Yes, you are.
thing. And that's the thing. So if there's somebody out there who do want to act, take the step to do it. But just know it's work. It doesn't, even if it's your gift still has to be refined.
Right.
You still have to refine your gift. You still got to sharpen it. You got to sharpen the tools to execute. You know what I mean? LeBron had gifted is a gifted athlete, and he had it from when he was a baby, and we all know what he looked like when he was a baby. But he still had to be coached up.
Mhm.
Still had to be coached on the court, and he had to be coached off the court. And that's the designing factor of being humble and don't feed into your ego. He didn't feed into his ego.
Mhm.
He only feeds into his ego until he's on the court. That's King James on the court, but he's LeBron when he's at home.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Right.
so that's and it goes for Kobe too. And that man stayed in the gym, you know. So yeah.
Keep going, Fred.
Oh yeah, but yeah, he stayed in the gym. So so like I say, anybody who wants to do anything, be a doctor, be a lawyer, you know, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to do it. So that's my riff. That's my thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. These kids, they know where I live. I've been giving them snacks, so they know where I live now. So they just be coming in.
Uh-huh.
You
Oh
know,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I gotta,
Trick or
yeah, but
treat.
yeah, all year round, right? Yeah, but
Mhm.
don't thank you for that. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I want to have a little fun with you, Fred. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
make sure you have that script on the side because we're going to get to that in a moment.
Okay, I
We're going
got
to
it.
get that script. Yeah, you still got it right
Yeah,
there.
I
Okay.
got it up. I just need to know where I need to start.
All right, but yeah, I mean, I already told you, I'm gonna start, and then, you're
Mhm.
gonna piggyback off me,
Okay.
once I start. But before we get to that, I want to do a little this or that.
Okay.
Here they come, yo. Here they come.
All right, yeah, everybody loved that. Everybody loved it. So yeah, so this or that. So I'm gonna come up with some things, and I'm going to ask you to choose one or the other. You can't plead the fifth. You can't choose both. And if there's something that you're not familiar with, I can change it. Let me know because you have to be familiar with both things in order to choose from. All
Okay.
right.
Gotcha.
So that one of the, is either one or the other.
Okay.
All right. All righty. So grapes or cherries.
Ooh, cherries.
All right. Chocolate or caramel.
Caramel. Caramel, yeah.
Oh, you taste. Oh, yeah. You taste it right now, huh?
Taste it right now. Yep.
Okay. Rogue or secret obsession.
Rogue. Rogue all day.
Yeah, I almost got you with that one. Uh,
hmm
all right. Black ink or blue ink?
Black ink or blue ink? I'm gonna go blue ink.
Blue ink. Yeah.
hmm
Because you have to sign legal documents. You gotta have the blue ink. Yep.
Yep. Yep. And blue is my favorite color, so it's
Oh,
blue all
got
day.
you. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So that's good to know. I didn't even know that when I did your flyer. Okay, that's
hmm
interesting. Yeah. So, okay. All right. So, Scarface or Goodfellas?
Scarface was good, but it's also before my time, so I'm gonna go with Goodfellas all day.
Did you
Ray
see it?
Liotta,
Did you see it?
I saw it.
Okay. So
I
make
saw
sure you.
it.
So I said it's got to be.
I saw it. I saw
Okay.
it, but Ray Liotta moved me. He
Yeah,
moved me.
yeah. That was my dude. Yeah, that was my
Oh
dude. But
yeah,
may he rest in peace.
Ray
Yeah, yeah,
Liotta. And you had Joe Pesci. You had
yeah. Right, all the heavyweights. Yeah, right.
oh yeah.
Yeah, one of my
Yeah.
favorites. One of my favorite movies. Yeah.
hmm
All right. And so, all right. So I think I'm gonna try to stick you here. All right.
Uh
So, Jackie Robinson or Hank Aaron?
oh. Ooh. Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. Hank Aaron. Oh yeah. Hank Aaron.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good times with the Jeffersons.
Ooh, it's a little before my time, but I'm gonna go with the Jeffersons. I'm gonna go with the Jeffersons.
All righty. All right. So, Horace Brown or Johnny Kemp? I mean, if you're old school, Horace Brown.
Mm,
I'm gonna help you out if you're
right.
familiar with. It might be familiar with the songs. Horace Brown is famous for "I'm not afraid to taste your love when it comes to making love.
It didn't
I
hit.
do what I gotta do." No, you don't remember that?
I do. Okay. That was that the chorus? Because I do what I got to do. I
Yeah,
think
I'm not afraid.
okay.
Yes, the chorus. Okay, I'm on fire with the taste of your love is all I desire.
Mm,
I wanna get
mm.
freaky completely behind closed doors.
Horse.
Let me
Horse.
okay. And Johnny Campus just got paid. It's
Mm-hmm.
Friday night.
89. Yep.
Do, 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 do,
Yeah.
do. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey,
Okay.
get into it.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
Run DMC or Houdini?
Run DMC. Mm,
What's your favorite
mm.
song by Run DMC?
Oh man. My Adidas.
My
My Adidas.
Adidas. Oh, all right.
Yeah. My Adidas.
Okay. And so, all right. Oh,
What
no,
you?
no,
Uh-oh.
okay,
Uh-oh.
because you know I gotta be messy with it. Okay,
Okay.
Don Lemon or Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A. Stephen
Oh,
A.
oh, 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 oh. Somebody gonna get you for that. But
Yeah.
this,
I know. I know. I know. I know.
yeah, but thank you. That's like I want to make sure that I want to make
But
sure I get a few of the
but
just right out of there.
Stephen A. is the guy that everybody wants to hit. So that's
Yeah,
why I picked
yeah,
him. Yeah,
yeah.
that's why
Okay,
I picked him.
okay. Because he
Yeah.
goes against the grain. Okay, no, I
Yeah.
get you. All right, but thank you for indulging me with that. Thank you for playing with me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wanna get into your where it all sets in for you, and that's for you to act the part.
Mm.
Action.
So yes, so we're gonna act the part. We're gonna act out, and
Okay.
this is something that may change your life. And I know you have some life changes, Fred, but this right here,
Woo.
this could be the breakthrough that you need right here. Because you never know who's watching. You know who's watching this. And it
Okay.
might and you might and there might give me more roles coming in, so you gotta be prepared
Okay.
now. So
All
I
right.
need you to really give it.
I'm gonna need Janet Jackson to watch. Here we go.
Yeah, yeah, right. Get into it. Just get into it. Yeah, Janet, Toya, whoever you want to, whoever,
Mm.
But yes, I want you to really just get into this, and I'm
Okay.
going I'm going to coach you through this because I got to coach you. I got to coach you through this too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right.
Coach me through.
Yeah.
Coach me through. Yeah. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. And action. Yeah, well, well, well. It's been a long time. I didn't think I was gonna ever see you again. I see you haven't changed, but I'd like to see you anyway. I mean, but I don't know if I want to see you on a Monday, a Sunday, Monday, mm, Tuesday. I don't think so. But Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but Saturday, love. Yeah,
Mm.
I think I'll do the Saturday love. Cause when I think about you, my feelings can't explain. But why, after all this time, my heart still feel pain? Like, why
Mm.
is that? When I look at you,
Mm.
those memories of love, like no one before, you stay on my mind. It's just something about you that you
Mm.
stay on my mind. Those special feelings, those special times, they're always so special to me. I was yours and you were mine. Like we were made for each other.
Mm.
Yeah. For always and forever. You, you will be my Saturday love.
Mm.
But not on Sunday. Not on Sunday. Definitely not
Mm.
on Monday.
Okay.
Not on Tuesday. Definitely not on Wednesday. I don't think I could do Wednesday. Even though it's
Mm.
hump day, but I don't think I could do Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm a little busy
Thursday,
on it.
yeah, right. Thursday, nah.
Okay.
Friday, nah. Friday, not. No, Friday's no good either. But Saturday, love. Now I want
Mm.
you to tell me what you think.
Mm. Baby, when I think
Mm,
about you,
mm-hmm.
my feelings. I just can't explain. Why, after all this time, my heart still feel pain?
Why is that?
When I look at you, memories of love
Mm.
like no one before. You stay on my mind.
Especially for me.
Always so special.
Mm-hmm.
Made
Yes.
for each other.
Yes.
Staying on my mind. Girl,
Yeah.
Saturday.
I was yours and you were mine. I
Today.
remember.
Yes. The day we met. Oh my goodness. I can't leave you behind. There is never any question. You will be my Saturday love.
Mm. Saturday, but not Sunday. Not Sunday though. Not Sunday.
Yeah, now
Uh,
Sundays for church. Sundays for
mm,
church. We praise the Lord that
right.
day. Yeah,
Yes.
it's all Saturday. It's all Saturday.
Yeah, all Saturday. And Mondays, that's the start of the work week. So, we
Yeah,
can't do nothing then.
Mondays
Mon-
don't do. I got a 9 to 5. I got a 9 to 5.
yeah,
But
right. And
you
Tuesday,
yeah,
mm-mm.
yeah. You my overnight Saturday,
Yeah, because that Wednesday no good, right? Wednesday, no, because we always say like
mm-mm.
it's hump day, but
Yeah,
we already did all the dry humping back in the day, so we good
yeah,
on the
yeah,
Wednesday. Yeah,
Wednesday.
yeah. Now,
Mm.
Thursday,
Thursday
Thursday,
won't do.
Thursday
Thursday
won't
won't
do.
do.
No,
Mm-mm.
Friday.
Now Friday it could, but it
Mm,
just
we think
don't take the
it
cake.
won't. It won't
It
take
don't take the
right.
cake.
Yeah,
That Saturday.
I agree.
Yes.
I concur.
Yes. That's just right before, Thundercats come on.
Right, true. That's true. That
You
is
know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah,
So
you're right. So we keep it at Saturday love.
yeah, we keep it
Saturday
at
love.
Saturday. We keep it at
Yeah,
Saturday.
but for
Mm.
always and forever,
Mm.
I'm at the bottom. But for
Okay.
always and forever, you will
Yes.
be mine. You'll be mine,
Oh yeah.
my Saturday love. But remember now, never on
Okay.
Sunday,
Never on
right?
Sunday. Mm-mm.
Monday's too soon.
Yeah, that's too soon.
That's way
Too
too
soon.
soon. But I'm sorry. What was that? What was that?
Yeah, that's too soon.
Oh, okay. But
Too,
Tuesday and Wednesday,
just won't
that
do.
just will do. Just won't do.
No.
Thursday and Friday, we could begin that.
Yeah. But
Mm,
our Saturday love, oh my goodness, will never
mm,
end.
never end. All right,
Mm.
sugar.
Sugar.
And
Sweet tooth.
scene.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Ah, you better do. You better come on, Fred.
All day, every day.
What? What? I love it. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I mean, it's just an honor to be able to do. I mean, you just don't know. I mean, it's all fun, but it's an
Yeah.
honor when I'm able to do these scenes with you guys. It's just
Yeah.
amazing to
It's
me.
it's definitely fun, and it takes and again, it gives me another opportunity to be consumed by what I love to do.
Yes, and you did
Yes.
that. Yeah, you did
Oh,
that.
thank you
Yeah.
very much. Thank you. Yeah, you did it yourself. You did it yourself.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
All right.
We,
But Fred, I
we
got two more questions. I know we've been here for a minute, but I mean, it just seemed like we were just like hanging out. We just hanging, we chilling.
yeah. Of
We were
course.
talking and vibing. We were just vibing. Yeah.
Yes.
We were just vibing.
Yes.
So, but I gotta ask these two questions before we wrap up though. We gotta get to
Mhm.
this. We gotta get to this. All right. So if you have the opportunity to have five people at the studio table, dead or alive, who would
Mm.
they be and why? And I need the why for each one.
You said 5 people.
Yes.
Oh man. The first one would be my stepfather. My stepfather, man. I would love to have a sit down with him and thank him.
Mm,
He,
yeah.
he may not he don't know, but everything that he distilled in me, you
Mm,
know, I took in and held on to it, and it's his care and love for me was very very unmatched. No matter what I said, he was like, "Hey, you're still my son,"
aw,
you know,
I
and
love
I,
it.
I love that. So big ups to Robert Jackson, my stepfather.
Shout out
Um,
to him.
yes. Other one is my bodybuilding coach.
Mhm.
Oh man, I got so many questions for him because like I'm coming off of losing about 20 pounds right now.
Mm,
So I know that he'll tell me that I need to change something and do something, and I
mhm.
and then that big, hey, you making me proud, you're making me this, and you're making me that. It all triggers me to actually go to keep doing what I'm doing.
Wonderful.
Um, to sit down. I got three more, right? So three
Yes.
more. The third one is definitely Denzel Washington.
I get that a lot. I get a lot of Denzels. Yeah.
Denzel Washington. I really feel like I can. I feel like I can relate to him. How how he um how he grew up. How his father was a pastor just like mine. And just like he didn't know him much, and and like my father, you know, I love my father. I didn't know him, but with him being a pastor, it did alter my
Mm,
beliefs for a moment,
yeah,
especially
right.
when I was younger, because I was always like, man, if he is the son of God and he is teaching the word, why don't he want to hang out with me? Why don't he want to talk to me? Why don't he want to do this?
Understandable.
Why? You
Understandable.
know? So um so yeah, I and then his whole take on how he actually started acting,
Mm,
it resembles mine, because he had no idea. He didn't think about acting. He was looking into be a journalist. He was looking to be
mm.
a doctor. He was looking into doing all these things on what he thought that he was good at, and then his GPA took a turn for the worse, and he got kicked out of
Wow.
school.
Mm,
And when he got kicked out of school was when he took a summer job at a at a camp. And this
mm.
camp, he had to do a play. And when he did the play, that's what changed his life. And
That's
he
what
was like,
hit.
I'm gonna go back to school and I'm gonna do theater. So
Wonderful. So who's the next
so
one?
the next one I'm gonna say, man, the next one I'm gonna say who I wanna be next to or have a conversation with. Tyler Perry.
Mm,
Tyler Perry. Very just very knowledgeable. Not just on the acting aspect or him getting roles or anything like that, but like his beliefs, and just
mm.
helping out someone. And I think just having a conversation with him, you know, would be a great thing. Um, to sit with, I would probably say at my table, um, man, I would probably have to go with Janet Jackson.
Ah,
What
uh,
and like my sister is a big fan of Janet, and she
okay.
in every music video that we watched on BET, me and her would do all the dances and everything like that.
Okay, okay. Oh, that's so sweet.
And that was my first concert that my sister took me to, and for her
Wow.
to, and I was what, 13, 12 or 13, and I had no business being there.
No,
I had
no,
no
no.
business. I had
Because
no
Janet
business, but
Janet was just there. She
it's
do all kind of stuff on stage. Yeah, you ain't no J-Wo was no
yeah,
impressionable from J-Wo should be
yeah,
seen.
2000, it wasn't 2000, it was 1996. Janet just came out, and being free with her sexuality, I was just like,
Yes. Yeah.
I had no business
Mhm.
talking about
Mhm.
pick me.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no, but mm-mm.
but just to get her energy, her vibe, I
Right.
would I would I would love to sit down with her and Tasha Smith,
Was that the fit?
actress.
Wait, that was five already, wasn't it?
That was four.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Let me. Oh, you said your stepfather, bodybuilding coach, Tyler Perry, Denzel, Janet. That was five. Stop
Oh,
playing
that
now.
is fine. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Tasha Smith, let's give her an honorable mention because that's my girl. Tasha Smith, shout out
Yeah.
to her.
Tasha.
Yeah, let's give her
Uh,
an honorable mention.
yes, Tasha Smith. I took a acting class
Oh,
from
you
with
took
her,
over her? Oh, okay,
and
okay.
that was just before the transition of everything. That was 2014. I came out to Atlanta to take her class, and boy, everything you see on TV is exactly who she
Right,
is.
right.
She,
I can
you know,
imagine. I can
and
imagine.
like it really tested my acting ability, because she didn't play. She made everybody nervous. Like the second day of class, we had our lines, and we had our scene partner, and we had lines, and we had to do our thing. And this girl, she had mommy dearest, and you know that no wire hanger thing,
Yes, yes.
and she just came out and yelled, "No wire hangers, no wire hangers!" And like
Yeah.
Tasha was like, looked at her, she's like, that ain't gonna do. She's like, have a seat. And she was like, if y'all ain't ready to work, y'all can go home, and I will gladly give you y'all money back. But when you step up here, you better be ready. And I was just like, so I looked at my scene partner. I'm like, he was like, and then she was like, all right, raise your hand if you're ready. So I raised my hand, and she was like, you. And I was like, damn.
Well, you raised
Got
your
up.
hand.
Right. I didn't want to be like no punk, but like me and my scene partner me and my scene partner got up, and I was like, hey, you ready to do this? He's like, I'm ready, bro. And I sat down, I was like, all right, I'm nervous as all get out. And I was like, take your time, set your scene up. And like when it's time to go, let's go. I sat down, and like my character, I'm counting money. So I'm just counting my money, and I give him a nod, and we do our lines, and we there. We
Right,
kill
right.
it. And man, she was like, "That's what I'm talking about. If y'all ain't bringing it like that, take your butt home."
So you did what you had to do. Like you,
Ooh.
yeah.
Oh
All right.
man.
I'm glad. I'm thank you for
And,
sharing
and that
that.
was and that was actually coming off of like 4 years. Was it 4 years of not acting? Because I tore my
Wow.
ACL. So
Right.
I was like, man, I still got it. I'm still
That's
good. I'm
amazing.
still
Yeah,
good.
that goes to show
So
you that
yeah.
you was born to do this. You was born to
Yeah.
do this. I thank you for sharing that though. Yeah, thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
I'm
now
thinking,
out of those 5 people at the table, who would get the big piece of chicken and why?
who get the big piece of chicken?
Mhm.
Oof. My stepdad.
Uh,
My
why?
stepdad. He gotta get the big piece. He gotta get
Yeah.
the big piece. Oh yeah, he gets the big piece. And
Why?
just because I always fought him trying to get the big piece. I always
All
fought
right.
him trying to get the big piece, the big piece of everything. But
Okay.
he always gave. He was definitely a lover and a giver, and he made me and my mom more family oriented, because me and my mom, our family is not family oriented. We don't even like we'll hang out with people, but like when we finish eating, we're like, oh yeah,
You're like, well, all right. Yeah, yeah.
I'll
Like,
catch
okay,
y'all,
all right.
peace.
I came what I
Ain't
came to do.
no
Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no playing cards after. Ain't no,
Right.
saying, yeah,
You know, yeah.
ain't no watching the Christmas story after anything. No,
Mm-hmm.
we ready to go.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's me too. I mean, yeah, my
yeah,
mom and I are just like that. Yo, I get it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
so
my
now,
so,
yeah, but thank you. I like the those people. Those that's a good table. That's a good table talk. Yeah.
hmm
So now,
yeah.
this question I take from the late James Lipton from inside the actor studio. So Fred Taylor, when you enter into the pearly gates, what would you want God to say?
Oh man. Um, I want him to say, I am definitely proud of who you turned out to be. I I knew it all along that you were going to become the greatest version of yourself. I saw I saw what you were going through, but you have to understand that if I didn't put you through any of that, it wouldn't have brought you who you are.
Mm,
And I and the fact that not only did I name you, but I lived your life for you first.
mm, mm,
So the fact that you did exactly what I told you to do, what I called you to do, I am very, very proud.
mm.
And You already know what's behind these gates. You deserve it. I love you, and I'm always gonna love you.
Mm.
Now go on in there, go on in there, have fun. Tupac got a concert, so
I love
get
it.
you.
I love that. Oh my God, that's one of my top tier answers to that question. I love
Yeah.
that one. Thank you
Oh
for that. I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Yeah.
but ladies and gentlemen, this was Fred Mother effing Taylor in the building. Please give it up for him. I appreciate you being here. God bless you on your journey. And
Yes.
overall, I mean, you have given us a show, you've given us some gems, you've given us a master class, and you've given us, like I said, you filled in the blinks for us as far as how this hustle and bustle it looks
Yeah.
like, and I really am so honored that you share this all with me. You didn't
Oh
have
man,
to. Yeah,
I'm
you didn't have to.
I'm I'm humbly grateful for just you just hitting me up and saying, "Hey,
Yes,
I
yes,
checked you out. You know, what I'm saying you got a great story. I really wanna do something with you," and that was that's amazing to me. Because like again, you had a Hakeem on here who was big,
yeah,
who's done so much, and I'm
yes.
like, I've only done like this much. Then you asking me, so I just
What you
I
mean?
I'm humble. I'm
Yeah,
humble. So I thank you, and I hope and pray that your platform goes to its heights. Because what you're giving everybody here, including me, is a voice to
yes,
express not only where I came from, but the love of what I do, and that comes from the people who you talk to. They love what they do, and they love
yes.
talking about it, and they'll talk about it to anybody who wants
I
to
love
hear it
to listen.
because
I'm because I
you know
absorbed everything. 'Cause it don't feel like
yes.
it's almost 3 hours. You like the longest interview that I've had, and I don't but
Oh,
it don't seem like it because, I mean,
okay.
it's been so fulfilling. I'm full right now, Fred. I
Oh,
really
good.
am.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
I
I'm
really
I'm
am. I
happy.
mean, and I
I'm
don't
happy.
and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not an expert on bullshitting. So what I'm saying to you is genuine. Like, I'm
Oh,
really full right now. You gave
thank
me
you, thank
all the
you.
seasoning. You gave me everything I needed. I am so full right now. I'm good. So I'm
Oh,
looking forward to editing this. I'm looking forward to clipping this. When I'm listening back at this, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna just it's gonna be a time for me. It's gonna be a whole vibe for me. So look
oh,
out for that.
amazing, amazing. And make sure you send it to me so I can send it to
Oh
everybody.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
my mom's gonna love it. Sister, you might have
Yeah,
a
shut up.
she might
I
love
would
it.
love to meet your sister though. Your sister seemed like a vibe. I like to meet your sister.
She's a handful. She's a handful.
I
Now
could
my
imagine.
mom, on the other hand, you think you me? Oh, you.
Yeah, but
She
my
was
son, your
actually she was actually at the premiere, and everybody like Miga and everybody just gravitated to her, and I'm like, hey, I'm the one that was in the
I'm like, what
movie.
about me?
I'm the one. But like everybody was like, I'm gonna take a picture with your mom. And my mom, she was like a deer in headlights. She just going over here and over here. And then she was like,
Wow.
hey, is it time to go yet? And I'm like, Mom, no, not not yet. She was like, I'm hungry. I'm hungry, and this is fun and everything. I love taking pictures, but I'm hungry. And I know, but we got a little more bit. She was like, all right. But
Well, shit, like that.
but
I mean, you ain't take her to that room with that nice spread. Oh, me got a nice spread over in that room in there. You ain't take her
I
there.
Well, the tickets that I got, it wasn't for VIP. That was a VIP joint, but I took her.
Oh, oh,
Well, we went
okay,
someplace nice. We went
okay,
someplace nice after
okay.
that.
All right, well,
We
good. As
Yeah,
long as you made up for it, okay.
yeah, we
Yeah,
made
but
up
yeah,
for it,
but yeah,
and so did
yeah,
my pockets. So did my pockets.
yeah,
My pocket, yeah, yeah. My mama, oh boy, she
yeah.
she saw them slab of ribs and wings, and I'm like, all right.
Oh, okay. She was good. Okay, well, hey,
Yeah, she was good. I was
she was
like,
good.
I'm like, we're gonna spend 2-3 days eating every last bit of it.
Yeah, but Fred, stay behind for me. I'm gonna do my outro. You stay behind for me, please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. But yeah, give it up for Fred Taylor again. Give it up for Fred Taylor again. Yes. Yes. So Fred Taylor was in the building with me, right, y'all. I mean, he shares so much, and I know people may find it hard to kind of kind of grasp it all, but you could take it in doses. I'm gonna help y'all out because I want you to receive everything. I'm gonna give it to you in doses now, okay? Because again, this was something that was filling for me, to be able to absorb all of this and to be able to learn from this because this is a lane that I'm trying to kind of step into, but not sure like where I'm, trying to be in that place. So I think Fred would be one of those people to guide me through that journey, and I'm really looking forward to keeping in contact with him. Right, Fred? You gonna help me out? You gonna bust out, right, Fred? Not for me. Say not for me, Fred. Okay, thank you. All right, so yeah, so he said, I think he's one of those individuals that I think that, he would be a good mentor. Like he makes a good mentor. So I think he needs to, you know, look into that or consider taking a certification in life coaching. I think he would definitely be good at. I think that'd be a good lane for him as well. So I think he should consider doing that. So but yeah, but I thank you so much. Those who's in the bushes, those who are live for me in real time. I know this was a long live, but that's okay. That's okay because there was so much that sometimes you can't condense it. There's certain areas that you can't condense it, right? So you have to trust the process, right? You got to trust the process. So I really appreciate Freya Taylor for being here, and just make sure that you continue to look out for more of my content. I might just kind of take you through my service again tomorrow, like I did the last couple of weeks. And if I don't hear from you before Wednesday, I'm going to have Unique Brewer. She is a owner of a nail salon, so I am looking forward to getting into that space, with her. So that's on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so I just really hope that you had as much of a fun time as I did. And please make sure that you like, comment, and share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I do appreciate that, and just do like what my girl Tamara said. Comment and share. Don't make you aware. Faith is the substance.